Let's... Let me load game. Clouded Kokoro Trial Part 2. Yep. Yeah, we have a thingamabob. Like, if I was lower on the underneath the table, maybe. There we go. I'm just gonna be slouched or something. Yeah. Alright, the 23rd, February 9:23 a.m. Alrighty. Poor Soseki-san. This is it then, Mr. Naruhodo? Yeah, it's time to put an end to this now. The miserable curse that's been plaguing Mr. Natsume. To everything. And in my own small way, I should do everything I can to help you. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah. I always appreciate your help, Miss Susato. Suffering, Soseki, selfish, sidelined. Good morning to you, too, Mr. Natsume. Oh. Good morning, you loco student, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. Listen to you two chatting away happily as if the main character of today's trial isn't here. Why would you do that? Why? Oh dear, we didn't mean to cause offense, Mr. Natsume. I thought perhaps that's because you had your eyes shut so tightly you were meditating, finding inner calm. It seemed wrong to disturb you. I was waiting. What's the matter, Mr. Natsume? You seem different somehow today. Why, naturally. That's because I've attained spiritual... Oh wait, that's him. Why, naturally? That's because I attained a spiritual enlightenment. The path of literature, you see, is the journey to discover one's own death. Or such like. That's the sort of morning conversation I was hoping for. That's why I had my eyes shut. I missed the signs, I'm afraid. Somehow, you have to forgive me. You mustn't talk of your path leading you to death, Mr. Natsume. Well, ironically, a lot of our paths lead to death unless we have Christ. That was just an example! Oh yes, there it is, inner calm. You barely came to see me at all yesterday. I was sure you abandoned me and returned to our beautiful long-lost homeland. Ah. We've not even been in Great Britain a week yet. Well, anyway, I intend to set everything straight in court today. I'm determined to uncover the truth. Sounds good to me. I've actually reached an important decision myself. What sort of decision? I shall fill you in after the trial. Alright. It would seem Mr. Sholmes isn't coming today after all. It's a very clever message, I think. My dear fellows, you must win this battle on your own merits. It's a very clear message, I think, that he's overslept again. The great detective, my arch-nemesis. Long may he stay away, if you ask me. Alright. Defendant, your legal representative. The trial is about to begin. Make your way into the courtroom immediately. Alright, let's go in. Part 2 of the trial. Today, once again, we face the Reaper. The Reaper stands for the prosecution. The defendant's fate is sealed. But I don't believe in that legend any more than I believe in Soseki-san's curse. The truth is hidden here somewhere, and I won't let it escape me. Alright, Xanadu Peach says, I really do like Ace Attorney, just like Professor Layton. I actually like both games. I actually have 2 of the games. I have the Diabolical Box and Curious Village. They're both pretty good. I really wanted to buy all of the other ones, but I was low on a budget back then, so I don't know. I wish they could bring it all to like the Switch or something. Like, imagine Professor Layton trilogy on the Switch. That'd be amazing. I have to keep believing in my client and keep fighting to the very end. That's all. Xanadu Peach says, well, I played most of them, finished them, and ended up losing my DS because something else. I had to get a phone and I couldn't get that out of a pawn, but that's okay. I got a new Professor Layton one on for the Switch. I wanted to get that one too, but our budgets have not collided yet, and I am saving up for an electric guitar and also that new Kirby game I wanted to pick up. There's a lot to buy, but there's other important things too. Chobi says, I've watched them and my friend is a huge fan. I enjoy playing them, watching them played, and yelling objection at everything. Yeah, I enjoy it too. Alright, the judge says, in the name of the majesty of the queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. I call about the counsels of the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed. The prosecution is ready. Yes, the defense is ready. Very good. And now I call about the 6 ladies and gentlemen of the jury, trusted by a lot to represent the will of the people in this trial. Are you ready to proceed? Absolutely. Justice will be done. You mark my words. I feel obliged to say, I don't know what her voice is. Like Peach? I feel obliged to say. I don't know. Feels ruthless. Why? She was willing to get a guilty verdict? How dare you? Oh, well, I wonder if I could just adjust my hat for me. Please be as ruthless as you like. Thieves deserve to die if you ask me, especially gas thieves. I have no sympathy for the man at all. And then this is the country voice we replaced him with, right? Look, I said it yesterday. I'll say it again now. I don't have time for this. I've got my own problems. Or some. That doesn't sound like country either. Oh, may the Lord show us all the light here and lead this flock to his righteous verdict again today. No, Lord Von Zykes, what can you tell us? The prosecution's report, please, for the court. In relation to the theory expounded on by the defense yesterday regarding the defendant's tea. You guys have the results. Before the prosecution delivers the black news about the black tea belonging to the blackguard in the dock. That's a lot of... Pray, allow me a moment to savor a liquid of more sanguine hue. In fact, I defer to the good detective for the report. Here's to you, Inspector. It's Gregson. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. As indicated by the defense, we found a bar of soap just outside the victim's window in the snow. And there was indeed a frozen, rich liquid in a little depression on the top of it. That's tea. That's what Mr. Natsume brought with him that night. Well, the brains in the yard analyzed it, and yes, you're right. It was the tea. There wasn't a trace of strychnine or any toxic substance in it. Oh, no poison at all? In other words, the tea that was the defendant's brought with him in the victim's room is innocent. It's in the clear. What a revolting revelation! Oh, what a revelation! As I suspected. This makes it quite clear. The defendant, Mr. Sasaki. Oh, you objected me. My learned friend is jumping to conclusions again, a typical Nipponese reaction. What? Yes, it's true. There's no poison found in the few drops of liquid recovered from the soap on the Window's ledge. But what logic is that? Would you take a drop from the Thames and conclude the water in the ocean isn't salty? My word. The water in the ocean is extremely salty, Counsel. Shing! Exactly. Unfit for drinking, it's just as the victim's tea was on the night in question, as the court was already heard. Bitter was the precise words from the lips of Mr. William Shakespeare. And the prosecution now calls back to the stand. Alright. Very well. I uphold this prosecution's request. Mr. Shakespeare. Yeah, it sounds like we're gonna have another confrontation with our theatrical friend. Bailiff, show Mr. Shakespeare to the stand. Alright, let's do it. Well, Mr. William Shakespeare, the victim of this despicable crime. Oh heavens, oh hell, do you command me to remember? Forsooth, what was I, Shakespeare, did have a belly full of foul liquid given in mine innocence? Yes, but as revealed yesterday's proceedings, the witness is not as innocent as we had perhaps first been led to believe. By using the bartership possess, he's been stealing gas from the supply company, yes. One may smile and be a villain. Forsooth, 'twas I, Shakespeare, did have a room full of the sweet fuel given. Yikes. That's right. Fellow jurors, don't forget this man is a rotten thief. Oh, I haven't forgotten. Kept that all that about the ice coins a tidy secret, didn't ya? You should have owned up sooner. Arrest him, say. Arrest him at once. Let him feel a sting in my tail. Oh, indeed. By dint of vile and cowardly means have I plotted to further mine own ends, I confess. Thou wouldst not pardon my sins of that, I am sure. If you acknowledge your wrongdoing, what exactly are you doing here? Cowards die many times before their deaths, and for a coward such as I, death be well served, but would it be a greater crime passeth unpunished? For lo, the hairy-faced gentleman of farther east than Verona did contrive to poison me. Objection! Yeah, objection indeed. Objection! But there is no poison in the tea found in your room. The police have said that. What the defense would assert as an inconsistency will quickly be cleared up by the witness's testimony. Is that not so, Mr. Shakespeare? Verily, verily, my liege, I would most gladly speak. Very well, let the witness testify to this. Explain this inconsistency. Tell the court why that poison apparently entered your body, though none was found in the tea. Alright, let's see. Boop, 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 boop. Whoop. The Japanese man did curse not did come to my chamber with tea brewed in a pot. 'Twas in my cup alone that the wicked miscreant secretly poured his wicked poison. With feigning distraction in our debate, ne'er did a drop of his own drink pass his lips. When he departed by and by, did I use the tea that remained in his cup to make my coins of ice. Thus 'tis no surprise that the poison you not found in the tea I did pour into the molds of soap. So he's saying that Shamspear used Soseki's tea and then drank Soseki's cup? I don't think so. The poison was slipped into the cup after the tea had been poured. The normal way for a poison to be administered, in my experience. Quite, however, it would be disastrous if the poisoner were to mix up the cups, for instance. But no poison bottle was found at the scene. Because, quite simply, the Nipponese took the bottle back to his own room. The absence of the vessel containing the poison only becomes problematic when considering suicide. Knew that. But now it would be perfectly clear. A bar of cheap soap is wholly insufficient to wash the deep stains of guilt from the accused's hands. Sirs, madams, 'tis true that I, Shamspear, be a common thief of gas. But, listen here, ladies and gentlemen. Wherefore would I lie? Verily, I have no cause I am not to lose. Well, I do declare. Thank you for your testimony, witness. Counsel, proceed with the cross-examination. Yes, my lord. The tea inconsistency. Okay. Came with chamber with tea and brewed in the pot. Okay. I understand that you already acquainted with Mr. Natsume, is that correct? I know thee not, old man. Vault to thy prayers. Do I know thee, or know thee not? Methinks it's all I can know that thy destiny mingles with mine. You lost me at the first thee. Zounds, sir, thou must learn the English tongue before thou turnst thy hand to lawyering. I did, but I must have missed the archaic Elizabethan lecture. Verily and in truth, truly and in truth, was a fine flavored brew. Though a drop of poison did barb its sweetness as the thorn barbed the sweet rose. That, dear friends, be the simple truth. Listen to Mr. Shamspear. He seems even better formed than from when he was yesterday. I think that's a misspelling. In even better form? Oh, never mind. It's not a misspelling. He seems in even better form than he was yesterday. Either that, or I'm in worse form. That fated evening after I did dine at Grubb's Grubbery, a local alehouse of good report, naught did pass my lips but the tainted black tea. But behold, the poison was not in the tea at first. Okay. 'Twas in my cup alone that the wicked miscreant secretly poured this wicked poison. Oh yeah? What do you think? Hold it. Are you saying that you saw the moment when the poison was added to your tea? To have witnessed the act and then drank the tea? Thou dost describe the actions of a fool. Quite so, quite so. What? No one likes going thirsty, do they? Sooner would I die, quenched than parched, would I have the choice. Actually, on the night in question, the water main was frozen, I believe, wasn't it? Were it not for the tea and sooth, I would sooner have died frozen than quenched or parched. Right, no ice coins means no heating. The witness had more than one brush with death on the night in question, it would seem. Remind the court, Mr. Shamspeare, as to whether the accused drank any of the tea he brought with him. With the greatest of pleasure, my liege. Whilst feigning distraction in our debate, near did a drop of his own drink pass his lips. Hold it! But the tea Mr. Natsumi drank was found completely empty at the scene. Let's not forget the defendant's maxim, drink tea while it's hot. I did gulp from the poisoned cup that night, and in mine agony I did writhe uncontrolled. It fits his pain. I did knock the fellow's cup, and its contents spilled as blood from a gaping wound, methinks. He knocked Natsumi's cup? Though certainly it was after I had made the coins of ice from his tea. Wait. He drank the poisoned cup. He knocked the fellow's cup. Okay. An upset cup was found on the table, and as that the victim was slumped over. There's no contradiction here. It's true there's no tea left in either cup we found at the scene. But still, there's something about this statement that's troubling me. Of course, I know what it is. It's Mr. Natsumi's wise to drink tea while it's hot maxim, isn't it? No, I'm not quite sure that's it. I'm confused too. Thank you, witness. Now reiterate to the court what it's occupied you after your guest left before you drank your tea. Okay. When they depart by and by, I did use the tea that remained in his cup to make my coins of ice. Okay. Thus, it's no surprise that the poison may not found in the tea I did pour. And when he departed okay. Molds of soap. Okay. So, it's been proven that there's no poison in Saseki-san's tea. That's usually found in our favor, but in the atmosphere of this courtroom, it feels as though everybody's against us. Must be a Reaper's poison. I'm afraid that if we don't find a significant flaw in this testimony somewhere, the jury will pounce and find Mr. Natsumi's guilty. It really feels like we jumped into the fire here. Mixed with tea, something. Poisoning occurred this time. 1:30. When he left, right? No ring inside Mr. Natsumi's cup. Twas his cup alone, yeah. Most faint distraction, he didn't drop a drink. Neither did a drop of his own drink pass his lips. He used Mr. Natsumi's cup to make coins of ice, and there's no tea.
Objection!
Yeah. He claimed that Mr. Natsume didn't drink a drop of his tea in the night in question, and that you used the tea that was left in his cup to make your fake coins. But that's not possible. Objection is right. How, Chop Logic? What is this, you clad fiend? Well, the two teacups from the scene. One was used by the victim, and the other by the defendant. Have a clear difference between them. One that represents incontrovertible proof. Incontrovertible? What a difference. Look at the inside of the cups. Just here, there's clearly a visible ring. Yes, a tea ring. Commonplace enough. Indeed. Such stains occur too readily when one leaves tea in a cup for a while. And yet, Mr. Natsume's cup has no such ring. Good lord, you're right. It's completely clean. Prithee, sir, what makest thou of it? Exactly what Mr. Natsume told the court yesterday, the Japanese saying he quoted. Drink? Tea? While it's hot? That's right, yeah. The jittery Mr. Natsume was true to his usual self that night. He drank his tea in no time. If, as you claim in your testimony, he didn't touch a drop of his tea, a ring would have developed on the inside of his cup as well after several hours of the tea left standing. But, in short, Mr. Shamspear, you clearly lied to the court. Oh, that's a big no-no. Get thee to a nunnery.
Objection!
Objection. Alright. As a rule, I filled my hallowed chalice up to 7 times during any one trial. He drinks 7 cups of wine in trial. Sheesh. I don't know if you would want that known to. Yet on occasion, TDM distracts me and I pour more times than I intended until the bottle's dry. Your drinking habits are fascinating but irrelevant. On the contrary, they illustrate the fickleness of human memory. To William Shamspear. Yea, my liege. Though you previously stated you made the coins of ice from leftover tea in the accused cup, could it be that you were perhaps mistaken? He's throwing a bone to him. Could it be that? Yes, perhaps there was some tea remaining in the small teapot left at the scene? A fact that has vanished from your memory until now? Oh, he's willing to take the bait, taking another lie. Faith, my liege, thou art a magician, for verily, 'tis as though thou hast seen with thine very own eyes that night. What? Forsooth, I was mistook. I did plan to use tea from the Japanese fellow's cup, but lo, when I looked, 'twas empty. And thus I used the dregs that fester in the teapot, as my liege did suggest. Okay, objection indeed. You just suddenly remember now that you made a mistake before? Are you supposed to believe that?
Objection!
Oh dear. People's memories are imperfect, my learned friend, which is why they rely on evidence instead. But in any case, it makes no difference. The victim's most recent testimony tells us two things to note. Firstly, that the poison was put into the victim's teacup only. And secondly, that the spoiled cup was not the source of the insipid ice coins that have been bewitched this court. Yeah, objection. What is going on? The prosecution makes a fine summary of the facts. Furthermore, that testimony remains valid in full support of the established facts, in other words. Okay. The inconsistency claimed by the defense simply doesn't exist. No. What does this mean, then? I do declare it means there's no issue with the gas thief's testimony. Apart from the bit about thieving gas, obviously. My lords, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I do solemnly swear, after I did dine at Grubb's Grubbery Ale House that night, not past my lips, but the black tea given me by the Japanese whose back be stooped as low as death. On what did you dine? Why, I did partake of my favorites, a broth as would be called soup, and a leaf as would be called salad. You could, I mean, he ate those way before the time the strychnine poisoning could actually affect him, so, I don't know. As in Selkbris, as menu as the establishment where it was served, what you got would give us some faults to make us men. Willing would I suffer that punishment 'tis seen fit to serve a wicked thief of gas, but I pray thee wise and noble fellows ne'er forget the simple truth. That one thing, this be another. Jurors, all you humble servant Shakespeare, doth entreat you to punish the Japanese fellow for his sins. My lord! If I may speak, my lord. Yes, Mr. Foreman. Yes, Mr. Foreman. I believe we've been duped by the rotten defense. By me? I do declare you may be right. We all know that the waif there is making coins of ice to keep himself warm. But this lawyer lad says he's stealing gas. You deserve the dose of poison, eh? He's been leading up. Yeah. He's been leading us up to the garden path that was he's been doing. I really never said anything like that. But what I just heard from the victim, there was opened our eyes again. We reached a decision this time and we won't be swayed from it. Yeah, right. Are you gonna press them all and they're gonna flip-flop like cray-cray? The court adjourns this position of the jury foreman and will duly hear the jury's findings. What? No! You can't yet. We didn't even go through the cross-examination. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you state your decisions now.
Guilty.
Guilty.
Are you kidding, flip-floppers?
Guilty.
The jury is so fickle.
Guilty. Guilty.
Sheesh. Oh, happy day. How is this happening? My lord, the defense asserts its right to carry out a summation examination. Very well, the court upholds the defense's right. Typical. My learned friend is unable to accept the obvious truth. This trial will therefore enter its second summation examination immediately. As yours, the court calls upon each of you to state the grounds on which you find the defendant guilty of the crime which he is charged. All right. Let's flip-flop them with the presses. Juror intention. Man of logic, considered all the evidence. Sure you have. Do you agree that gas expensive? Oh, speaking of current times of gas being expensive, stuff explodes and it can poison you. It's absolutely lethal. How's that relevant? Gas doesn't come for free. Why is gas relevant to this? Truth be told, my wife serves me for me is a little sketchy at times. Nothing else past the victims of cyanide. There's no other explanation, is there? I don't know. I don't know. And it's really bright outside. Boop, boop, boop. I do feel that perhaps the personal opinion about gas and its supply has influenced the decision somewhat. But never mind. No, you really should mind. The truth is, our counter-argument wasn't as unassailable as we hoped. And Mr. Shakespeare was poisoned, there can be no doubt of that. How are we supposed to turn this around? I think we need to establish the method by which William Shakespeare is actually poisoned. Our only hope is to demonstrate that to the court incontrovertibly. But that surely is impossible at this stage. If we don't manage it, though, Mr. Natsube, well, he'll be found guilty, and he does deserve that. All right. No delays, counsel. Proceed with the summation examination. Let's press the people. Ooh. Rebuttal. Man of logic. Considered all evidence, the defendant must logically be guilty. I don't know about that. Press. All the evidence, you say? That's right. There's no room for doubt. It's all pointing to that Japanese man with a big mustache. Says English man with a bigger mustache. Which means we must show the man some new evidence to make him change his mind. If only we had that kind of evidence. Don't worry, this summation examination is barely started, really. Perhaps there's a shift in the situation that shows an existing piece of evidence in new light. I hope so. Start with it, though. I need to find some way out of this deadlock. Alright. Let's press this. Do you appreciate the gas? Yeah. Is that relevant? Hold it! This isn't the same time and place to be assessing the price of gas, madam. But really, think of the injustice. Air is a gas, and air is free. Why should Altamont gas cost money? It makes my blood boil. I can feel myself becoming more ruthless as ever. This isn't the time or place. This is a Wendy's? I might interject here. Yes, madam. It seems my fellow juror takes issue with the price of our company's charges for gas. It's precisely because of thieves like this man that the cost goes up. Sure. Oh, what a beastly man! That unkept mustache, those hunched shoulders, poisoning tea and stealing gas. And Wendy's, yeah. Utterly unforgivable. Mr. Natsumi hasn't stolen gas? Why, thank you, not adding more to crimes. Mr. Natsumi hasn't been poisoning tea either. Well, anyway, I've been quite made up my mind. It's made up as the price of gas. The stuff explodes and it can poison you. It's absolutely lethal. Gas is. Is this relevant? Could we please talk about the poison rather than the gas, do you think, sir? Well, if you like, I mean, to be honest, I take poison over gas every time. You take poison? What I mean is, poison can only poison you. It doesn't explode, does it? Goodness me, what are you talking about? Set him straight, please, lawyer man. Well, it certainly is true that poison isn't prone to explode. Certainly true that poison isn't prone to exploding. So random. But I think you'll find poison also can't light or heat up a room. You're right. I hadn't considered that at all. Huh. Young lawyer man. Yeah? You have a good head on your shoulders. We could use someone like you as our company's legal representative. Well, I wasn't expecting to pick up more business in the middle of a trial, that's for sure. Anyway, the point is, I haven't had the best experience with gas companies in the past. Gas doesn't come for free. It costs a fortune to deliver it around the city and maintain the pipes. Alright. Enough with the gas. Can we please refrain from all this talk of gas? There's an all-out attack underway here in case you haven't noticed against my company's gas. And I suppose to sit here and take it, am I? I don't think so. She's really buzzing now. All I've heard, a wonderful fuel is explosions and poisonings. What about electricity, What about getting electrocuted? What about that? A little explosion here and there, nothing in comparison. Any explosion could hardly be described as nothing, madam. Nevertheless, the theft of your gas is deplorable. My point exactly, but the gas thieves aren't even the worst of our enemies. We have far more devious reprobates to contend with on a daily basis, you know. More devious? Who, madam? Other gas companies, of course. Other gas companies? Not quite what I was expecting. We generate gas and delivered it to our customers fair and square. Indeed. Nobody is questioning that, madam. Altamont is an exemplary gas company. There are other unscrupulous gas companies here in London that don't even have any gas at all. What? If they don't have gas, how do they go about selling it to people? You wouldn't think it possible, would you? They steal our gas, you see, and sell that. They steal your gas and all. No, on earth is that thing possible? Gas companies like ours deliver gas to people's via a network of pipes. But these devious reprobates secretly disconnect our pipes and divert our gas into their own rotten pipes. Then they make a contract to the households supplied by those pipes and take money for precious gas that was rightfully ours without even us knowing. Oh, they're diverting gas in their own pipes illegally. What brazen form of theft? And we visit customers' houses to collect the money from their meters, and we always have to check whether or not one of these devious companies has been up to its tricks. Oh. Let's pursue? Excuse me. Do you have something to say about that, juror number 3? Oh golly! You mean me? I'm terribly sorry. I was just thinking to myself. I really did catch him off guard there. Thinking about what the lady next to you is saying, correct? Well, yeah. I just got a little riled up recently, you see. Go on. An Altamont gas worker visited my house the other day to investigate the pipe work. We need to ask for your cooperation here while we gather a secret check of your property, sir, the fellow said. So I let him in, and do you know what he did? I'm afraid I have no idea. Please tell us. He proceeded to take one of my lights off the wall. Then he grabbed the exposed mouth of the pipe and started blowing into it. What do you think you're doing, young man? You're giving away our company's secrets here. Oh, please, everyone knows, but it's nearly the death of me, I can tell you. What do you mean? I'll explain if you don't mind. As I said before, these are unscrupulous other gas companies connect their customers to our pipe network. Yeah, but how does blowing into the pipes come into it? Obviously, there's gas in the pipes, and that's at a very low pressure. By blowing air through the pipe, you can make the pressure drop temporarily. And if you do that, any lights connected to the same pipe will flicker for a moment. The winds are blowing on the new mouse hype, I see. Oh, I see. In other words, if upon blowing on into the pipe, the lights of an adjacent property that has no contract with your company flicker, you can know that these devious scoundrels have been meddling with the pipes. Exactly, my lord. That's it in a nutshell. Fuzz says, Razor people on the Mouse Review Reddits, yeah. It's the reason why we have teams of workers going around the neighborhoods to investigate which lights flicker. The trouble is, the particular worker who came by the house didn't know the strength of his own breath. He blew down the pipe with all his might, and you can guess what happened, can't you? If he blew hard, then... Wait, you mean... That's right, the lights didn't flicker. They just went out, along with the stove, and gas started pouring into the house. What a disaster! The gas supply might have been interrupted briefly because this man blew too hard, so the flames went out. Fuzz says he'll check the Best Buy and Walmart. Alright. I'm afraid I yelled at the fellow. You trying to kill us all, I said. By disconnecting a lamp and blowing into the exposed gas pipe, it's possible to extinguish lamps and stove connected to the same network of pipes. And then, when the gas starts flowing again, it just silently seeps into the room. Mr. Naruhodo, I think perhaps that's a curse. That's the curse thing, right? That's almost certainly the clue that we've been hoping for. Juror number 3, the defense requests that you amend your statement to include that information. If you like, I don't mind. Well, I do. That's our company's secret method to identify pipes. Like I said, madam, it's widely known already. Very well. Customer number 3, you amend your statement accordingly. Yes, my lord. Although I'm not really sure what the point of all of this is. Alright. Uh-huh. Should we... Wait, do we... This one. Press this one. You mean it's poison? Oh, that's right. It happened a few times now. Just most troubling indeed. It always starts like this one when I don't get any wages. I get in at tea time, see, and I see her doing it. My wife. She gets that devilish look on her face and she slips some white powder into my cup. And you drink it anyway? I was brought up proper, I was. If someone gives you cuppa, you drink it. And what happened to you? What did it taste like? It was god awful. Believe you me, salty. So she salted his cup. Then I think perhaps that your wife put in your tea with salt. Oh! So... she doesn't even care enough to poison me properly, eh? Unbelievable. Let's move on, please. There's nothing else past the victim slips that night. There's no other explanation, is there? We didn't press that guy, so let's press it. This is hopeless. There's no way to appeal to these people. I do think that the only way we can overcome this difficult situation is by exposing the way that Mr. Shamspeare really poisoned. Wait, I guess we didn't cycle through all those steps before. I don't even know what happened. Like what? It's important to watch everyone involved in pursuit. If they react to something else says so, okay? Yeah, we did that. So this is essentially the tutorial on pursuing side bunny trails in the when there's more than one person in the court. All right, let's see. No need. All right, actually, I don't think there's any need. It's vital that we start trying to change these jurors' minds as soon as possible. Of course, I'm sure you're right. But if you decide you like your memory or fashion, you need only ask, Mr. Naruto. Sounds good to me. Alright. Click, 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 click. Alright, let's press this guy.
Hold it!
Does that mean that if the victim could be shown to have ingested something else, you could change your leaning? Sorry. What was that now? Oh, I was just saying if a victim actually ate or drank something. What's the matter with you? Sorry? I said if nothing else passed the victim's lips that night, there's no other explanation, is there? Have you been listening to me at all? Chovy. Alright, Yoshi. I'm gonna go. Enjoy the rest of the stream. Awesome hanging. Yeah, it was awesome hanging with you too. Let me pray for you before you go. Dear Father, appreciate you for all you've done for us. And right now, as Chovy leaves, I pray that you continue to bless his day. And may he serve you and honor you in all that he does. And yeah, I ask this all in Jesus' name. Amen. Alright, goodbye. Have a happy lurk. Compared to the other jurors, who don't even appear to have anything about this to say about this case at all, it would seem that this elderly gentleman has been listening to the proceedings far more intently. I suppose the trouble is, he has selective hearing? Exactly, but still, this juror may well be the key to the breakthrough that we so desperately need. Okay. Alright. Okay, if we go to the court record, maybe it's this? I don't know. Alright. Price. Okay, when you say extinguish everything in the house, do you mean even on different floors? Oh yes, all our floors are connected to the same pipe after all. That's true of every building. Because gas supply contracts are issued for whole properties. Alright. Well, I have no idea that it was possible to extinguish gas supplies simply by blowing down the pipe. It's not something we'd like to publicize, to be honest. We have to carry out these investigations, as I'm sure you can appreciate. Indeed, it has been mentioned more than once on occasions in the newspapers even. Is that so? It's been mentioned to me too, very recently. An incident involving gas stove going out in explicitly almost leading to someone's death. Mr. Naruto, I think perhaps it's finally starting to fall into place. The secret link that joins all these strange occurrences. We're gonna pit that with this.
Objection!
Those two statements clearly contradict each other. Good gracious, those two statements you refer to, counsel. Juror number 6. Do you hear what juror number 3 just said? Well, yeah, of course. I heard him mumbling about something or other. There is another explanation, I believe. Something besides Mr. Nutsumi's tea didn't matter, speaking past the victim's lips on the night in question. What explanation? I wonder, did the police check the mouth of the gas pipe feeding the wall light at the scene? To see if there are any traces of poison there? I was curious to see what your floundering would result in this time of the mouth of a gas pipe. Scotland Yard has enough to do without exploring such irrelevance. What a piece of work is a man. What are you trying to say, Mr. Shamspeare? I had enough of it already. What speakest thou, prithee? Is it not strange and strange? That is what I say to thee, sir. I don't know what he's trying to do. I thought it's been quite clear. Let me put it another way. The strychnine could have been on the mouth of the gas pipe that feeds the wall lamp in your room. And that's how the poison came to enter your body. Good lord. Are they tasty then, gas pipes? Is that what he's saying? Oh, this gentleman's suggesting the poor man was desperately hungry and tried to fill his belly with gas? Perhaps no actress would perform a kiss scene with him. For shame, madam, speak thy fancy. Sure, I'm not such a buffoon to have kissed pipes.
Objection!
Okay. This is no summation examination, this is a farce. This prosecution would not stand for any more of the learned Nipponese friend's conjecture. What? To begin with, the lamp in the victim's wound is high on the wall. In order to have placed his lips to the pipe that feeds it, he would have been a contortionist. These are empty assertions. There's no possible proof that the man did as you say. Objection is right. It's true of no proof that Mr. Shamspeare put his lips to the pipe. However, I can say with some certainty that on multiple occasions, Mr. Shamspeare has been doing something in front of the lamp on his wall. I have evidence to prove it. Alright, you got our attention, lad. I'd like to see you. How you can be so sure of yourself. So would I. I'd like to see this evidence then. Now that I got the jury's ear, I need to make this opportunity count. Alright, this is the proof that time and time again, Mr. Shamspeare stood in front of his gas lamp.
Take that!
What? These are... Wait, what are these called? Handprints? Yes, skin prints. That's what they were found at the scene. Skin prints, Counsel? I've never heard of such a things. Justice Ministry is currently assessing whether or not to permit fingerprints as evidence in court, however. My lord, this is an exciting new forensic technique developed by the great detective Mr. Sherlock Sholmes. It reveals all the places that Mr. Shamspeare touched in his room. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, it's black magic, isn't it? Well, if anyone could invent something like this, it'd be the great Sholmes fellow, that's for sure. I agree. This month's edition of Engineering Thumbs was quite fascinating. We found skin prints in many places that we would expect, on the table, on the costumes. However, Mr. Shamspeare also appears to have been touching some very unexpected places in this room. For example, here. Around the hanging picture there. Indeed, multiple handprints appear to be visible. I wonder wonder, could he have been appreciating the artwork, perhaps? At first, my colleagues and I thought the same. However, imagine standing with your hands where those pants are. You would find yourself directly in front of... I don't believe it. The gas lamp. Though the reason why isn't immediately obvious, it's clear that Mr. Shamsy was regularly been standing his hands on the wall in front of that lamp. Right. What have you been up to, you nut? I'd asked the court to recall jury number 4's earlier statement. Me? What did I say? He said that blowing into a gas pipe would make the lights in the entire building flicker. And now if you recall jury number 3's statement... What, me now? What if the gas worker who visited his room blew too much force into the pipe? It caused all the lights and the gas stove to go out, and gas to start leaking into other rooms. Obviously, that incident was an accident. However, the simple fact is... if Mr. Shamspeare were to have blown hard into the gas pipe here, he could have extinguished every other light and gas stove in the building at will. Crikey. Are you suggesting that the man purposely caused the gas to...
Objection!
I mean, it's a pretty good hypothesis. Whilst I acknowledge that the prosecution is required to remain silent during the summation examination, I must toast my learned friend utterly disregard for the letter of the law. What is the meaning of this, Orphans Ikes? This curious photograph, or whatever it is, presented by the defense, so-called skin prints, clearly that cannot be accepted as a form of usable evidence in this case. But it's an exciting new forensic technique developed by the great detective. It's nothing. A mere tool developed by an amateur sleuth with too much on his hands. Certainly even research of this nature by esteemed Mr. Sholmes. Have I been following the current trial? I have only followed maybe like 3 to 4 trial proceedings and only sporadically. I haven't had that much time to watch in the afternoon, so no. Cannot be recognized by the court as formal evidence. But... hold it! Please, my lord. If I may. Mr. Sato? It was not the defense's intention to submit the skin prints as formal evidence, but merely wished to present the results of the great detective's investigation of the scene as a tool by which to explain any possibility to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury. And if the trial were to come to an end now, we should never learn the truth behind these mysterious handprints and that everyone now has seen. I don't believe we can allow that to happen. I'm sure the jurors would agree. First, since you find the scheme entertaining, yeah. Yeah, I did check some of it, but yeah, those are like pretty long, like multiple hours worth, and I've been already like listening to other like media in the background, so sometimes I get to, sometimes I don't get to watch, so that's what happens. Let me get a drink real quick. Ugh. So today, my cats actually found out they could pierce aluminum cans in their claws, so it could be a disaster. Hold it. You're right. Whether those strange handprints are a significant clue or not is down for us to decide. Juror number 3. Oh yes, I do declare the great detective's investigation results sound absolutely fascinating. I want to hear what that shady actor fellow was saying about those shady handprints. Well, we actually are almost back to being able to continue the trial. What's the matter with you two? That was foolhardy. Well, I did say it, didn't I? I don't like to break a promise. No, wait. You heard his lordship. It's not fair. Something. It seems like the left guy might get perjured. Or whatever. Or he's trying to be an activist in the thing. One more juror changes his or her mind. Mr. Natsumi trial will have to continue. Thank you, Mrs. Sato, but I couldn't have done it without you. Oh no, it was you who identified the clue after all. This is very much your success. Oh. Why is Mr. Shamspear? You seem losing your composure. Just one more juror, Mr. Naruhodo. You could do it. Alright. Let's hope we can do it. Very well. Continue, counsel. No, wait, you heard his lordship. It's not fair dinkum evidence. Yeah. Alright. Logically must be guilty. Let's hear him one more time.
Hold it!
All the evidence, you say? That's right. There's no room for doubt. Oh, pointing at the Japanese man with the big mustache. Yep. But the defense must demonstrate another possible explanation for the events in the night in question. What do you make of that? What? Your so-called skin prints? It's an exciting new forensic investigation technique developed by the great detective himself. The numerous handprints on the wall are clearly out of the ordinary. And then Mr. Shamspear had indeed put his mouth on the gas pipe on the night in question. It can't be denied there's a possibility that's where the poison was. Well, yes, I won't deny that's playing on my mind. But as the prosecution rightly says, we should pay no heed to unacceptable forms of evidence, and that is true as well. There is a formality to choosing the evidence that is admitted in court, because then it can't be used as to prosecute someone. And besides, yes, even if the fellow had been up to some mischief with the gas pipe a dozen times before, it doesn't mean he got up to the same shenanigans on the night in question, does it? Oh. You can't make up your case better than that. I'm afraid I can't change my stance. You make a very valid point, sir. What? That's true. Perhaps I was a little hasty. No, wait. Look, if you got your chance here, haven't you? So it's starting to prove your theory. If you or your Japanese cohorts can, that is. Oh dear. Mr. Naruhodo, we can't substantiate our position. I'm afraid the jurors that changed their minds before me very well change them back. What could I do? Are there any proof I could give here? If I swear Mr. Shamster really did blow down the gas pipe on the night in question? I do have supporting testimony. However, Yosaki-san, there's a witness testimony that substantiates it. Yes, it's all connected. Everything is linked. The person whose testimony revealed details about the gas in the Gyarados residence that night, namely, Sasaki-san!
Take that!
Obviously, I'm talking about the defendant. Mr. Sasaki Natsumi himself. Defendant? At the very beginning of the proceeding here in court yesterday, Mr. Natsumi said the following. My lodgings, there's been a whole series of strange happenings in my lodgings. Even that fateful night it happened. When I returned to Mr. Shamsby's room, I lit my gas stove and climbed into bed. But before long, the stove went out, and somebody tried to kill me. On the night in question, the gas in the defendant's room went out, so I asked the court, was that a mere coincidence or not? Good golly. So that Shamsby fellow blew air into the gas pipe and to make the man's stove go out on purpose? Hold your horses there. What would he do that for? Mr. Foreman. What is it, man? We can't allow judgment to be passed whilst this doubt remains. It's true that I don't have conclusive evidence yet, however, you must surely agree. There's more to this case than meets the eye. Fair enough. Like I said at the outset, I'm a man of logic, first and foremost. Let's go. That's 4 jurors leaning toward not guilty, my lord. We've overturned the decision. Therefore, the defense calls the trial to continue. Yeah, let's go. As the defense has rightfully indicated, the summation examination has concluded with a majority of jurors altering their decisions. 2 jury members now called guilty, 4 now called not guilty. And therefore, the jury's opinion is conflicted, and in accordance with the law given on this land, I hereby order the continuation of this trial. Sounds good to me. William Shakespeare. My lord, how can I, thy humble Shakespeare, serve thee? What say you to the response of various revelations made during the summation examination? My God, men to me, I do solemnly swear. I recall aught of either the lamp or the pipe. But your handprints are a tidy mess all over the wall. How do you explain that, eh? Heat? I'm done with this. The dignity of this great courtroom has been sullied enough already. Juror number 5. Who may? As I went some pains to point out already. A print from a self-professed detective store has no place in the British court of law. Ugh. As such, whether or not this man did indeed stand before the gas lamp with his hands against the wall remains at this time unestablished conjecture. You would all do well to remember that. Oh.
Objection!
But the prosecution must concede that it would be extremely simple to verify. Just order the mouth of the gas pipe feeding the lamp Mr. Shakespeare to examine. There are traces of poison there.
Objection!
What appears to be extremely simple in my Nipponese friend's mind. You recall that in order to check for presence of poison in tea, some remnants of the tea were required. Yes. Therefore, it would be beyond our wit to imagine if poison were to be spread on that pipe. It would have completely evaporated by now, making analysis impossible. In any case, I failed to see that it possibly motivated this man to do as you ascribe. Why on earth would this fellow want to blow air into the gas pipe where he lived? There's only one possibility I can think of. And that is to use leaking gas to commit murder. Order, counsel. Precisely sued life you propose this man was plotting to end. The answer couldn't be simpler. Now you have unraveled this mystery this far. Mr. Shamsby wanted to end the life of Soseki-san. Anyway.
Take that!
Take that! If a gas lamp were to go out, it would be noticed immediately, of course. But a gas stove, on the other hand, would be silently extinguished by the killer without anyone noticing. I live around these parts myself and know what it's like. I could tell you tried sleep without the stove is pretty much suicide. You freeze to death in no time. Security landlord has a large fireplace. In other words, it wasn't the landlord, but a fellow lodger whose life Mr. Shamsford was trying to end. Outrageous! I'm talking, of course, about the defendant. Mr. Natsumi isn't the villain in this case. It's a victim he was trying to murder. Good gracious.
Objection!
Objection. The accused is actually the aggrieved? Interesting. However, the fundamental facts of the case remained unchanged. Namely, that the accused is the aggressor here. What? How do you still claim that? Let's indulge the fancies for the moment to assume that there is indeed poison at the mouth of the gas. The question then arises, who put it there? Who did put it there? The only logical conclusion is the person responsible was aware of this man's trickery with the gas supply he is intent to kill. Yes, that would be illogical. The assailant was unaware, or he or she would have known to lace the gas pipe with poison. So now we must ask, how did anyone know where Shamspeare's murderous designs? You meant to suggest? Naturally, the sole possible answer to that question couldn't be more obvious. Only the man whose life was being threatened could possibly have known. I disagree. It's like he never mentioned Shamspeare. In other words, the person who put the poison on the gas pipe in what is clearly a retaliation attack can only have been accused, Mr. Soseki Natsumi. I don't think so. Whatever Mr. William Shamspeare may or may not have contrived to do, he is nevertheless the victim of a potential lethal poison attack. The only person who could possibly perpetrate that attack is the accused, Mr. Natsumi. The defense counsel's theorizing has failed to avert the suspicion of the accused. Far from it. In fact, now that the clear motive for the poisoning has been successfully established, that suspicion is greater than ever. Would you not agree, my Nipponese friend? How did he manage to turn it around me so rapidly? Mr. Naruto, you must respond. Otherwise, members of the jury may very well change their leanings against us again. This may be our chance to gain the advantage. What advantage? Well, it would seem that somebody put poison on the gas pipe in Mr. Shamspeare's room, so we must name that person now and absolve Mr. Natsumi of guilt. We name the true culprit? I know it may sound impossible, but if we fail to do that, you've no doubt that Mr. Natsumi's fate will be sealed. Alright, we're gonna throw a blame on somebody. The evidence, the poison. It's all pointing to a person. The prosecution calls for the jury to consider their leanings again. I trust you to make the correct choice this time, Mr. Foreman. What? Don't you worry.
Objection!
Objection is right. Objection! Yeah. There's one other person who I believe could have been involved in all of this. The true culprit of this crime. The true culprit? A term found only in second-rate novels featuring third-rate great detectives, my Nipponese friend. But why not? This farce has gone along so long already, I see no reason to cut it short before its climax. Thank you. Tell us, my learned Nipponese friend, what is your latest theory? Okay. Who is the true culprit of this crime? Could it be this guy? It could be Meter Man. I guess it's the girl? Olive Green?
Take that!
The name of the person responsible for the poison that afflicted Mr. Shamspeare, I believe. Miss Olive Green. Miss Olive Green, Miss Olive Green. I do feel as though I've heard that name in the recent past, Council, but I don't recall where. Miss Olive Green? The woman 6 days ago? The victim in the recent case of stabbing at the railroad, incident in which Mr. Natsumi was arrested, I hasten to add. Oh, of course, yes, Miss Green. She was left comatose for 3 days, I believe, but I hear she regained consciousness 2 days ago. And I hardly believe can't remind that Mr. Shamspeare's poison took place then. Given that the woman was lying comatose in the hospital bed at the time, she produced a rather fine alibi. True, on the night the incident occurred, Miss Green was in the hospital unconscious. So on the face of it, it would seem she couldn't possibly be responsible, but still. My colleagues and I visited Miss Green in the hospital and found her in the possession of a bottle of poison. Good gracious, she had poison? And there's another fact that links Miss Green to this case as well. The defense requests that she be brought into witness and stand in order to explain the details to the court. Tell me, Mr. Shamspeare. My lord, pray what it be thy bidding. Are you acquainted with Miss Green? No, never heard of her. Judging by the look of Mr. Shamspeare's face, I think perhaps he generally doesn't know her. At least not by name. Was a voice... I missed that. As the voice of Her Majesty's prosecution here, I adhere to my word. We will see that my learned Nipponese friend's farce through to its conclusion. I appreciate that. The prosecution requests a short recess, my lord, in order to subpoena the witness and bring her here. Sounds good? All right. Miss Olive Green. Indeed, my lord. 1 hour should be sufficient. Very well, I grant the request. Excellent, I hope. The defense has made an extraordinary accusation, I must say, but at the present time I feel the prosecution's argument remains largely uncontested. Accordingly, I'm afraid the defendant and his culpability remains sole subject to this court's attention. Thank you, counsels. We will reconvene in 1 hour. The court is adjourned. And we're going to do some investigation ourselves in the meantime. Hopefully, maybe. Oh, we finished. Who will we raid today? Or should we go for another one? Alright, let's see Jaziel's Let's see if Jaziel is streaming today. Just checking on him. Let's see. Today is Saturday. He'll... Uh-oh, what just happened? I have no idea what just happened. Oh, that was my monitor, yeah. He streams Saturday PDT at 2, so we still have like 2 more hours before he streams. So we're gonna keep going. Sounds good to me. Alright, let me turn back the thing off. Oh no. Now it's fixed. Let's put that Chrome browser back. Alright. Joyful, jubilant, jumping jacks. Alright. Oh, Mr. Natsumi, please, so pleased for you. Locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire and non-locum judicial assistant Miss Mikatobe Esquires. Now finally, at long last, there can be proof that I'm innocent and proof that my tea is innocent. Good morning, my dear fellows. Sherlock Holmes. But you drink my tepid tea and fall forever silent. I thought that tea was innocent. Oh. Alright. Oh, Mr. Holmes. You came. How wonderful. Please, save your derision. I know what you're all thinking. Good morning, he says. Then it's nearly time for lunch. Your scorn is clearly written across your faces. Nobody said or thought anything of the sort. Truth is, I was determined that today would be the day. As sleep seduced me last night, I thought. Tomorrow, for once, I shall not oversleep, and I'll rise early and be present in court to support my companions. This spirited determination was all beauty of all of its own, does it not? Oh, yes. And then I began to muse on the subject. Why do people oversleep? I queried. Why time after time do they make the same foolish blunder? The answer came to me at once, so delightfully simple. People oversleep. Because they sleep. Well, is that not an astute insight into the matter? Yes. Upon which realization, I attempted an experiment. I didn't sleep a wink all night. And the results? By first light, I was exhausted and began to be assailed by fits of drowsiness. Shocking. And so the conclusion of last night's experiment is this. Good night's sleep is quite simply essential. Yeah, most of us probably knew that already. What others presuppose I prove by experimentation. That, my dear fellow, is a scientific method. Ah, yes, one more thing. Do you remember this? Yeah, of course. It's the poison Miss Green was about to drink in the hospital yesterday. You didn't manage to... It was the laborious task that the bottle was near empty, but such inconveniences do not hinder Sholmes. I managed to confirm that it contained strychnine. So I was right. Perhaps, though, of course, such circumstantial evidence doesn't prove Miss Green's guilt. I should leave the bottle in your care now, but licking the inside of the neck is not recommended. Alright, we have poison. We have unraveled a lot. Could I have a word? Oh, it's more like, could I have a word? Gregson, how good of you to come. Forget it. Excuse me. Wait a minute, Inspector. I don't wish to make a nuisance of myself. I can look at your face and see someone else who you think is making a nuisance of himself. My dear Inspector, please speak freely. Pretend that I'm not here. Believe me. If I could do that, my life would be a whole lot simpler for me. A whole lot simpler for me. Do you have the results, Inspector, of the investigation of Miller at Mr. Shamspeare's room? Not yet. Shouldn't be long now, though. No, I'm here about something else. A dead convict, actually. You mean the man in the newspaper article we discovered yesterday from Mr. Shamspeare's room? Man by the name of, yes, Selden. We went through the archives at the yard and dug out the fellow's file, and there's something in there that, well, it caught my eye. Something's caught your eye? What, Inspector, what? I've copied out the relevant parts for you. You can read it yourselves. Thank you. Alright, let's read the file a little. These documents include the details that were in the newspaper cutting we found. Okay. I'll rearrange everything in the court record so we don't have duplicate information. Alright. Why are you giving us this important file, though? Well, you're the ones who turned up the clue in the first place, aren't you? I'll be making sure things get handled in the paper in proper fashion. Oh, Scotland Yard's workings are so wonderful. Indeed, my dear fellows, the inspector here is a shining diamond in its crown. Shining diamond in the rough, maybe. Look, I don't want to be beholden to a lawyer, that's all. Alright. Counsel for the defense and the defendant. Court proceedings are about to resume. Make your way into the courtroom at once. Well, I'll leave it to you then. I'll be listening with interest from the public gallery. No, not nodding off at all. Certainly not. Thanks, Mr. Sholmes. I'd rather be tired of seeing Mr. Mustache and flood of tears personally, so best of luck to you. We don't do luck around here. Look, I'm standing there, Hodo Esquire. Yes, Mr. Nursume? It's time, isn't it? Yep, it is. Mrs. Olive Green and Mr. William Shakespeare. This is going to be the final battle. They're both murderers at heart. I won't really have saved Saseki-san until I've exposed the whole truth of everything that's been going on. It's all coming ahead now. You can do it, Ryunosuke. You have to. Uh-oh, we dropped the game. Do we drop? The internet stuttered for a second. Whoops. The Old Bailey courtroom. In the name of Her Majesty's Queen, I hereby declare you... This court to be in session again now. Before the recess, we heard a most startling accusation from the defense. Namely that the victim of this case we heard here only a few days ago is the perpetrator of this incident. A reckless, rash, and prejudicious charge of wrongdoing in my opinion, my lord, however. The prosecution has tried to extend every courtesy of this amateur newcomer from dubious eastern shores. Thank you for that backhanded consideration. A rather cold assessment from the Honorable British Prosecutor, I must say. So, Lord Van Zykes, is a new witness present and ready to take stand? Ready and waiting in the witness's antechamber, my lord. Very well. Bailiff, bring the new witnesses in. Alright, let's see Olive Green again. Witnesses, state your names and occupations for the court, please. William Shakespeare, my liege. For mine occupation, I can say only that I be a tragic victim to be pitied. Currently unemployed, in other words? Olive Green, fledgling artist? Oh, no. Not a fledgling, really. A hopeless failure is too weak-spirited and it's just no talent, I suppose. Also currently unemployed, in other words? What a coterie. Whatever coterie means. Pottery? A small group of people who with shared interests or tastes, especially one that is exclusive to other people. So, like, I guess another word for nerd. It's coterie. Alright. What? Mr. Shakespeare, my lord, I am thy humble servant. I'm afraid you're no longer merely the victim of this affair. The possibility has been raised that you are in fact the assailant, intent on making the life of your fellow lodger. The part you played in this whole business will be thoroughly scrutinized, I assure you. I wouldn't for naught else, my lord. All right. And Miss Green. Yes? You're aware that you have been summoned to the court today, I presume? Yes, the officer did explain. Is that to poison this ridiculous buffoon? And do you accept the charge, Miss Green? I don't know anything about poisoning. And I don't know anything about this man. Come, lady. Die to live. Barely I know not thy prickly pea-pigmented personage. Very well. Let's proceed with the matter at hand. Let's bring to ascertain whether or not Miss Green has any involvement in this affair. It's all very strange. Indeed. Why would you suspect me? I barely even go to the east in any way. It just so happens I passed by the neighborhood 6 days ago, that's all. And on that night, this man was poisoned. I was still in the hospital, fighting for my life. Yes, having been unfortunately caught up in an incident on the street outside the Gerdep household. An incident that rendered you unconscious for 3 days. I was struck in the middle of my back by a knife through my own, no fault of my own, and now I'm under suspicion? What other irrelevant things might I be suspected of? Might be all very disturbing. Your energies may be better spent worrying about random knife attacks, I feel, Miss Green. At this point in time, all that appears connected with Mr. Shamspeare's lodging is the Briar Road incident 6 days ago. That's why we should like to testify formally what exactly what happened. Oh no. The incident 6 days ago? You mean you want me to relive that awful experience? Unfortunately, yes. Please tell the court what happened that day. And of course, we will be interested to hear from you about the movements that day too, Mr. Shamspeare. Mr. Shamspeare. But what happened 6 days ago has nothing to do with me. Oh, sorry. But what happened 6 days ago has nothing to do with me being poisoned. Let us proceed then. The witnesses will present their formal testimony to the court. All right. The subject of the incident that took place on Briar Road the evening of the 17th of February. All right. It was 6 days ago, about 5 p.m. I was walking along the road when I suddenly stabbed in the back. Coincidentally, it happened to be just outside the house where the men in this case have their lodgings. I was at the tavern on the eve of which thou speakst, for I had bespoke my supper. It was the first time I'd been in the area. It had a little matter to attend to, that's all. Anyway, I was admitted straight to the hospital, so I knew nothing about all this business. It's revealing more lore. Yes, a second incident inside a week that I believe to be aptly described as the haunted lodgings. One can presume this most unfortunate coincidence. Meanwhile, you say you're not in your room, Mr. Shamspeare? 'Twas the following morn when I did awaken that I learned of the dire events. Mary, what a commotion did the officers of the law make on the floor above mine. Mitseki was arrested on suspicion of attempted murder. As suspected, there's nothing connecting these two witnesses but happenstance. It's true, it does seem as though they're unrelated at first glance, but I'm not so sure. There's something lurking in the shadows here, I feel certain of it. And it's only my chance. We gotta press them. Alright, let's go press. Press. Alright, let's go. Alright, 6 days ago, 5 walking in the snow, stabbed in the back. Hold it! I'm well acquainted with the case. I'm sorry you had to go through that. It was awful. I can't believe I was unconscious for so long. I woke up to find that the case had been solved and the culprit has been arrested. Yes, the incident has been resolved already. Perhaps it would help you to consider it a bad dream that ended in your awakening. Now it should not be forgotten. Yeah, I suppose so. Thank you. But before you put it completely behind you, Miss Green, I need you to remember details one last time. You must tell the court exactly what happened that day. Yep, we're leading to the next part of the testimony. The trouble is there's nothing to tell, really. I was just walking along the pavement. Coincidentally, it happened just outside the house where the men in this case have their lodgings.
Hold it!
What were you doing that day, though? What do you mean? The art school you attend, what is it called? Yeah, it's the Thorndike Academy of the Fine Arts. According to Mr. Shops, That's just in the vicinity of Brixton Road, which is some 10 stops away from the scene of the underground. I believe you mentioned before you also live on Brixton Road, is that right? So why then would you have been walking along Briar Road in the middle of the East End? Well, it's because, yes, of course. I thought it might make a nice picture. I don't think so. We have proof of that against that anyway. The witness of a student of art, city-dwelling artists all paint grand urban vistas. That's right. I happen to like the crumbling look of that part of town. She's nervous. Perhaps quaint has been a less grating term. The point is, she's definitely hiding something. She seems she's not going to be forthcoming with the truth. She's trying to hide why she was there that evening. It must mean there's a reason for her not wanting us to know. That's the key to this. And you, Mr. Shamspeare, on the evening of the incident 6 days ago, would you tell the court what exactly you were doing? It would be my pleasure, sire. I was at the tavern on the eve thou speak and bespoke my supper.
Hold it!
A tavern, you say? Which one? 'Twas the Slug and Salad where I did tarry. 'Tis a jewel in the East End. A little unexpected, I feel. What do you mean, Lord Van Sykes? The Slug and Salad offers unusually fine dining for the locality, at least. Not an establishment you expect for to be patronized by a man not eating crumb of bread in his room. Huh? It's true, the menu lists premium crusts of bread and glasses of water in different levels of cloudiness. I would have expected grubbery in the local vicinity to be more appropriate for your means. Watery soup or mushy peas, or rather soupy water and pea-like mush. All equally appetizing. I just wanted to try some water in a different pub for once. What's wrong with that? How different can water really be? Or perhaps there's a more plausible explanation. A specific reason he had to go to that particular establishment. Agreed. The fact that on that day of all days he dined in a place he wouldn't normally does stand out. So Mr. Shamspeare's own actions on the day's incident 6 days were slightly suspicious. I wonder if they have evidence that can explain those actions. Okay, well, the court record first. And let's read that. Investigating Selden. 18 counts of burglary. 6 suspect murder. Died naturally. Final moments witness only cellmate. £1,000 worth of loot unrecovered. Manchester Strangeways Prison announced the death of the convicted murderer burglar Selden by natural causes, suffering from a fever. Led by shots, and his fellow cellmate medical staff arrived to find him already dead before his punishment could be carried out. So this is the poison we've been hearing so much about, strychnine. A few remnants on the bottom of the bottle here, look. Must be tempted to try it. Of course not, as long as we don't lose this trial. No, don't even think about losing. We mustn't lose the trial in the first place, Ms. Naruhodo. Make up your mind, Susato. Alright. I feel like we're gonna come back to this. Thank you later. I don't think we have the evidence right now. Not yet. We'll get the evidence later. A little later. Just have to repress everything. If find it clearly, we can explain why Mr. Shamsbury went there. We must present it to the court. Yeah, absolutely. If that's all on this matter, I would ask Miss Green to reiterate your next statement. Alright. It's the first time I'd been in the area. I had a little matter to attend to, that's all.
Hold it!
Hold it. What little matter, Miss Green? Please elaborate. It was nothing really, it's not worth mentioning. If you remember, you mentioned it to us yesterday at the hospital. It was related to the card you were holding. Miss Green. What was that? She clearly hit something behind her back. From memory, I believe the card contained a note that read, I have information regarding the death of Duncan Ross. Ooh, what does that matter? This has nothing to do with Duncan. Ooh.
Excuse me!
Excuse me. Mr. Shamsbury, do you have something to share with the court? To be or not to be? That is the question. Ah, pray forgive me. The great bard's worth springeth from within me with a near thought. Don't tell me it's because you're possessed by Shakespeare's spirit, right? Hearing Miss Green's words a moment ago seemed to make you think of something. Something of relevance, perhaps? Well, Dane saw it was nothing at all. Presumably you know the name, though, Mr. Duncan Ross, I mean. After all, you were both lodgers in the same house. I would it were so, but sadly nay. Lodging be a lonely occupation, sir. My lodgings fellow's rarely known to me. So you haven't heard of him, even though he passed away in the room just one floor above yours? Miss Green. Me, my lord? Have I done something wrong? The card that you mentioned before containing the note, do you have it upon your person? I do, yes, but I don't need it anymore. In fact, I should throw it away, really. Before you dispose of it, the court will take it as evidence, please. Alright. Alright. We have evidence now. That's what links Mr. Shamsbury and Miss Green. It's Duncan Ross. Now, continue with your testimony, please, Miss Green. Hold on, we can connect the envelopes together, though. So admitted to the hospital, so I knew nothing. Okay, we can press this and get all of the reading points. You didn't regain consciousness until the day after the trial, didn't you? Early hours. Exactly. How could I have anything to do with it? And you could still haul me in here to court like this, honestly. So, at the time of the poisoning, the witness was unconscious in her hospital bed. Could there be a more airtight alibi, I ask you? And yet, in spite of that, you claim that I was the culprit? Well, you certainly haven't produced any evidence to support your wild claim, have you? There you have it. The good lady's yet to see evidence, my learned Nipponese friend. I'm working on it. Counsel, I point out here that the jury's next decision will be final. We're really up against the wall here. Okay. Hey, yo, Mr. Naruto! Yeah, okay, yeah. We pursued and all that. Alright. Exposed. Yep. You. Yeah, of course. Yes. Come on, let's get to it. Let's solve this mystery once and for all. After I check out the envelope. The envelope has been ripped open rather carelessly, hasn't it? Miss Green strikes me as the type of person to open correspondence more, What is it? The way the envelope is torn, it's almost sure I've seen the exact shape somewhere else. Oh, you don't mean... Were you thinking of the piece of evidence, Mr. Naruto? Exactly, that's it. Trying to match them up. Zoop! Ching! They go together perfectly. This runoff envelope clearly belongs to this card. Alright. And since we found it at their house, we've linked them together. Okay, press.
Hold it!
Hey, Liam 8 Mail, welcome back. We're trying to pin the murder on her. Okay, yeah. What does that matter? This has nothing to do with Duncan, but we proved it probably. Tell us about the note. Because she had the note, and we found a piece of the note in Shamspear, this guy, Shamspear's house. So I think we can link them together somehow. Nothing I could tell you, but I can assure you it's unrelated. Completely unrelated. Truth is, you went out that day because that's what the note told you to do, isn't it? The instructions were for you to come to Briar Road at 5 o'clock that afternoon. Exposed. I didn't think I should go at first, but then I thought it might be a good opportunity to see what the Easton looks like. Very well. If that's your final word on the matter, continue, please. Oh no, we accidentally clicked off. I think we have to go to the third point. Okay.
Hold it!
Press. Tavern, which one? Slug Stub, something. Yeah, what do you mean? Yep, Slug and Salad is a fancy restaurant. So let's prove that he wasn't supposed to be there. Alright, perhaps there's a different reason. Specific reason. Agreed. Perhaps, I wonder if there's evidence I could explain. Okay, let's present the evidence. Mr. Shamspear? Yes, sire? On the day in question, it's not the case that you visit the Slug and Salad, a place you don't normally patronize for a very particular reason? I don't know what you're talking about. Hey, if that was some purpose, speaks. Alright. Very well, I'll present the court with evidence. Evidence that explains why you had to be at the Slug and Salad that day. Namely, this envelope.
Take that!
Take that? I believe this card reveals the answer. I was scared for a second because the music continued. Usually the music completely stops and cuts out if you pick the right answer, but sometimes it doesn't. Good lord, Miss Green's card, you mean? Yeah, that's right, my lord. It reads, I have information regarding the death of Duncan Ross. Come to the Slug and Salad on Briar Road at 5 p.m. on the 17th. Don't tell anyone else about this letter or the meeting. It's a matter of utmost importance. Mr. Shamspear, your actions on the afternoon of Miss Green's stabbing are exactly described in this note. Personally, I find it hard to believe that's a coincidence. Don't you, Mr. Shamspear? Well... Excuse me, can I say something? Yeah, Miss Green? That card was delivered to me. It doesn't have anything to do with this odd man, does it? Well, if you think so, yes, but it's hard to believe it's merely... My lord, may I? May you what, Miss Green? I'd like to make it very clear about that card. Very well then, amend your testimony. To include details about the peculiar note. Alright, we've uncovered some extra stuff. This note was delivered to me at my address. It has nothing to do with the old man next to me here. Okay. Let's press that real quick.
Hold it!
Hold it. I think you said that you received it the day before the incident, didn't you? Yes, that's right. There appears to be no indication of the sender's name or the address on the envelope. Or on the envelope. It was in my letterbox, that's all I know. I'm afraid I have no idea who sent it. I have information regarding the death of Duncan Ross. Who's this Duncan Ross, please? A friend of mine. I attended at the same art school as I do. He passed away in a tragic accident a month ago now, though. I wasn't sure what to make of that note, to be honest, but in the end I decided to go. So you found that what the information was? Of course I didn't. You're not thinking straight. Whilst on her way there, she was stabbed in the back. As my learned friend probably remembers. Yes, of course. She never made it to the meeting. So, Liam, what were you up to while you were away? Let's see. Okay, so we have to... I'm gonna present this piece that was found at Shamsi's room.
Objection!
The day before the incident, exactly 1 week ago now, this note was delivered to your address. I was watching Beastie QT playing his Age of Empires 4 tourney. Nice. Did he win? How was he? Let me know. And upon carrying out the instructions in the note, you found yourself in the hospital. Yes, I did. It's terrible, everything that's happened to me. It is terrible. If it's all true, that is. What do you mean? Miss Green, have a look at this, please. The torn off end of the envelope. Oh, is it? It so happens that it fits together perfectly with the envelope of the note you received. There's more of a best of 7 to play with one of the 3 players. He has one more best of 7 to play. Oh, so he almost cleared a set. Okay. Where did you find that? Mr. Shamspeare's room. In my room? He's in first or second. Oh, okay. That's cool. Nice. That's a lot of pressure. If they're good players, right? Yeah. Mr. Shamspeare, do you perhaps remember this note from somewhere? Well... Your actions that afternoon following the instructions of the note to the letter. Come to the Slug and Salad on the Briar Road at 5 p.m. on the 17th. So that's exactly where you went. Let me ask you again. Mr. Shamspeare, you already knew about this note, didn't you? Best of the best. That's what Liam said. And you, Miss Green. What did I do? This torn off end of the envelope proves the note was originally in Shamspeare's room. How was it that it came to be your possession? I don't know about the first idea. I just a fledgling artist after all. There's only one explanation. You broke into Mr. Shamspeare's room and stole it. You did what? So what? You broke it? I mean, what? In my room? What on earth do you want with me? It would seem that both witnesses need to testify again. Miss Green, Yes? With you have the court's sympathy, I'm sure, for the suffering you've endured in the recent events. Anyone found giving false testimony in a court of law will be duly punished. Please bear that in mind. Yes, I know. Very well then, witnesses, give your formal testimony again now. On the subject of the curious anomaly regarding the note Miss Green claims to have received. I do remember now, 'twas a week ago, peradventure that note was delivered unto me, on the day wherein I did tarry a long hour at the slug and salad, yet nobody came. Thereafter, on the evening I shared the company of the Japanese fellow, I did see the note had vanished. I don't know what you mean. You think I snuck into the man room? Do you? Why would I? I can point to the villain here. As for the torn off piece of the envelope, I don't know anything about it. You now claim to have received this letter, do you, Mr. Shamspeare? Faith, 'tis so, my lord. I would swear to have it set upon the table in my humble lodgings. Yet it's clear to me now that since I returned from the tavern that night, I had not laid eyes upon it. Well, that being the case, young lady, it would appear that your testimony was a lie? A lie? Is that what you think? How unfair of you to think I'm the one lying. I beg your pardon? I'm just a fledgling artist, and as I said, fledgling artists don't lie. The note was delivered to me, at my address. Besides, we all know who the liar around here is. If that's true, Miss Green, how did you explain the facts? This part of the envelope was without question found in Mr. Shamspeare's room. I don't see what I should explain. Sorry? I'm a fledgling artist. My job here is to say what happened, that's all. Alright. Liam says, how is that the only explanations? What if someone else broke into his room, dropped it, and put it in her possession? Exactly. I don't know. It could be either way, to be honest. What fletching will do, it's his best. Evidently, my learned friend's cross-examination is only hope of learning the truth. Alright. Well, counsel. I'm ready, my lord. Very well, then. The defense will now proceed with the cross-examination of the witnesses. Miss Green clearly did break into Mr. Shamspeare's room. There can be no question of that. And that's how she acquired the note. Yeah, two facts that are starting to lead me to a possible explanation to all of this. It's not a pretty one. The anomaly of the note. I do remember now, 'twas a week ago, peradventure the note was delivered to me. Press all of those things. Can you shed any light on the contents of the note at all? Nay, sire, this is strange for me. It's strange to me as a foreign language. Even with knowledge of the literature as great as mine as my own, very 'tis impenetrable. But Mr. Duncan Ross had lodgings in the same household as you. In effect, he was your neighbor, so surely you knew him, didn't you? Alack, if the choice is betwixt I knew him not. Then with foreboding I must be forced to be declared we were by some small measure acquainted. Despite your claims, though, you followed the note's instructions and went to the slug and salad. Presumably that has nothing to do with your knowledge of the literature? Married, naught will have the better of me, sire, save for the lure of curiosity. So 'tis true I was compelled by my own eager heart to betake myself to the tavern. Yet in the end my curiosity was not satiated. Okay. So he says it's curiosity? The day he stayed there for an hour. Okay.
Hold it!
So even after waiting for an hour, nobody appeared? Well, yes, sire, 'tis as thou sayest. Really? You paused for a moment before you answered. In truth, when thou asked whether nobody appeared, I did suddenly recall. Really? You mean to tell the court that somebody did appear after all? I was not alone that night at Slugger's Salad, my lord. 'Tis returning to me now. I did strain my lips to almost clear water and my innard to a premium crusted bread. All around me danced a great many companions. So he danced with a bunch of people there? Flies, sire, flies! Good lord. In the name of Beelzebub, what were they? Were fairies, perchance, from Midsummer's Night's Dream come to haunt me? I think they were just flies. I can't help but think that the flies outright chose something more wholesome to buzz around. Is that wrong of me? He thinks flies hung with him? Thereafter, on the evening, I shared my company of the Japanese fellow. I did see the note had vanished.
Hold it!
Okay. When exactly did you notice that it had gone missing? Such idle thoughts near occupy my mind. Such idle thoughts. Oh, I'm busied with greater ideas. In other words, you didn't notice. Several days passed between your outing to the tavern and Mr. Natsumi visited your room. Yes, it would appear the note disappeared then. Such idle thoughts near occupy my mind. I'm busied with greater ideas. He repeated it again. Yet during that time, Miss Green was comatose in the hospital, was she not? Epitome, how long is this game? Feels like you've been playing for eternity. Well, this is 2 games technically. This is the second half of like, it's essentially 2 full games that I've been playing, so it takes a while. A game has like what, 4 to 5 chapters? So we've almost unraveled the whole entire expanse of the mystery. Yeah. Because there's multiple parts involved. So like there's like the mystery of the murder of our best friend, and then there's like the murder of the people at England, and then there's also the murder of people in Japan. And so all of that is like all related in some small faceted. So yeah. Hey Matthew, how are you doing? Is there anything we could pray for you about? How was your day so far? How has it been since yesterday night? I hope you had good food, breakfast, or lunch. And I'd love to pray for you, Epitome, as well, and Liam, if you have anything. We're just playing some Greatest Attorney Chronicles. We just blamed Miss Green for poisoning the person who was trying to kill our defendant, I guess, the person who was accused. So if I look at the court record and look at the people, we have Soseki, who we're defending. We have this guy who tried to kill Soseki, and William was apparently was attempted to be murdered by Olive Green. So it's all like a murder triangle. It's kind of crazy. Jesus Christ said palpitations could use prayers. For sure, yeah, let's pray for that. Real quick, I'll turn down the music for that. Dear Heavenly Father, right now I want to pray for Crazy Cries, Matthew. There's a lot of worries, and they're completely valid. We know that there's a lot of medical things are happening with his heart, with his colon, all kinds of stuff. God, would you please be able to give him a steady beat in his heart and a safe way to get rid of the infection stuff in his body. God, I know that there's a lot of dangerous procedures that might need to be taken, and he's not sure if he wants to take them. God, would you be there to help him make a bold and wise decision, whether it is to take it or not? And God, would you help the doctors that do help him be smart encouragement, and that have done wisely to give him all the medical information he needs. I pray in the meantime that you give him good food and support with all his friends, and that he's able to get the relief he needs to remember you are good and you're loving, and that you give him hope for the future, whether or not it's easy or not. God, I pray that you give him so much relief and support in this time. And I ask this all in Jesus' name. So pray for Epitome. I don't know if he's working on a sermon right now. I pray that he's going to be doing that and be productive and not behind. And yeah, finish well and to serve you and proclaim your name. I also pray for Liam. I pray that he's having a good day today and that he'll have a great weekend before serving and worshiping you on Sunday. I pray this all in Jesus' name. Amen. All right. Ooh. All right, let's pray for Liam for that too. Dear Heavenly Father, I want to pray for Liam. Pray for his sister. She's just recovering from COVID. I pray that she would be safe and that she would have the attention needed to take care of all of the lasting effects that might have happened. God, would you give her enough rest so that she could be full of energy and rest and ready to take on the coming week. And yeah, I pray that COVID won't come back and that you would give her a way to be healthy for the days to come. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. Okay, let's turn up the music again. All right. So clearly then, she can't be stealing things during that time with the letter. Now we have to find out what exactly has been going on. Yes, of course. It's all comes from misunderstanding it, isn't it, Mr. Prosecutor, sir? Oh, Amadeo. Hey, welcome, first-time chatters. And the blue shirt guy, thank you for your first time joining us in chat. As always, you can call me Andrew or YoshiOST. We've been just doing our Bible reading plan. And we started in Job 34 to 34, 35, 36. We read some of Psalm 44 and 43. We also read Proverbs, and we read 2 Corinthians 4, chapter 4, verse 1 to 12. It was pretty good. We learned a lot. Blue Shirt Guy says, hey, I got to catch one of your streams. I always catch you with Jazeel. Now I get to know you, yeah. We'd always love to pray for anyone who comes in, so if you have any prayer requests, that's great. And if you have anything interesting going on, let us know. We'd love to get to know you better. Alrighty, let's keep going. So in this game right now, there's a kind of like a murder triangle, where we have Soseki-san, who's blamed for attempted murder of this guy. But this guy might have been actually trying to murder this guy, and Olive Green might have murdered William Shamspeare, but we'll have to find out. All right. Let's go. You have so far failed to give us a satisfactory explanation as how you came by the note. I'm not here to advocate for your defense, madam. I won't tolerate inconsistencies in your story. You would do well to remember that. Oh dear me. What's Lord Fenzike's getting at? I don't know what you mean. You think I snuck into this man's room, do you? Why would I? Okay, well, we can press each of their statements to find out more information. It seems that this note is actually delivered to Mr. Shamspears about a week ago. Oh, does it? But for some reason, it ended up in your possession. I can't think of a way that it could have happened except you breaking into Mr. Shamspears' lodgings.
Objection!
But for what reason would the witness have done that? I won't deny that Miss Green's possession of the note would appear to defy logic. However, unless her involvement in this case can be proven in some other way, any further pursuit of this note is meaningless. Miss Green could have only come to possession of this note by stealing it. And yet, there's no obvious reason why she would have done such a thing. What if there's another reason she broke into his lodgings, though? Yes, we should pursue that idea, Mr. Naruhodo. That's me, Ryonosuke Naruhodo. We're so close now, I can feel it. We're close to a breakthrough. I can point out the villain here, and as for that torn off piece of envelope, I don't know anything about it. Alright, let's press that statement too. So you don't want to tell the court the truth about the letter, is that it? I'm a fledgling artist, remember? Artists are nearly always introverted characters. Introverted? Fie! This fledgling doth readily cast aspersions about my nature. Yet I'm an angel, a seraph. Birds do harmonize with my song. The wind doth frolic on my wings. Oh, pity dost thou accuse one so pure heart, ample woman. Pure of heart? I don't think so. Even a fledgling like me can see you're just a failure. Tragedy! Thou shalt not know the true heart of an artist until thine instruction hereafter by death. Oh, the days! Oh, the years! Alas, to enlighten thee, thou must await so long and in vain. Mr. Naruhodo, interject with some clever remark. This is your chance to shine. The blue shirt guy says, this kind of reminds me of the anime Case Closed. So Detective Conan Case Closed is actually a pretty good show, but it's so long. It's such a long run of show that I could never really follow along the whole thing. Like, I don't think you can even properly watch all of it for free on Crunchyroll, so you have to like pay into a subscription. But I would love to catch all of it, but it's a lot of episodes. But I think I watched the first season. I think that was free there. It was pretty good. I also watched like the reenactment of this show and like some live action stuff. They were interesting. Some of them were good, but not all of them. But the anime was pretty neat. I'm no Shakespearean actor, Mr. Sato. As far as I can tell, the only thing that's going to resolve this argument is evidence. Alright. What do we... Okay, it's clear that Miss Green did in fact break into her room. We have the letter. And we have the conclusions. It's a terrifying conclusion. But I'm afraid to say that the outcome of this cross-examination may well change how we look at this case completely. And I've been watching through the Fruits Basket series, and I wanted the new seasons, but not sure what I think of them so far. Fruits Basket, is that the one where there's like a mystery family where you have to find out why there's like a curse or something? About animals and stuff? Alright. I do remember now something. Okay, she says, I don't know what you mean. You think I snuck into this room to you? Why would I? Okay, let's present the poison. Let's just present it and see what happens.
Objection!
It's happening. Yesterday at the hospital, we saw you with this bottle. And though the contents spilled during the course of our meeting, a small quantity remained. According to the defense, independent analysis, Mr. Sholmes' chemistry said, the liquid that was still in the bottle was identified. Strychnine. What? Strychnine? That's the very same poison that afflicted Mr. Shamspear. Alright, hold on. And Blue Guy Shirt said, yep, based on the animals of the Chinese zodiac, yep. Miss Green, you broke into this man's lodgings for one reason and one reason alone. To cover the end of the pipe that feeds the gas lamp in Mr. Shamspear's room with poison. And as me? You broke into my room to... It may seem incredible to the court, but from the remaining clues, there's only one logical conclusion we can reach. The person who attempted to take Mr. Shamspear's life with poison was you, Miss Olive Green. Dear. Oh no. Order! Counsel, are you seriously suggesting this woman put poison in the end of the gas pipe with intent to kill? Yeah, there's no other way to explain the facts. What if Miss Green did indeed just set this odious trap 6 days ago, and the victim had put his mouth on the pipe the very evening as expected? Attempted murder would have happened 6 days ago, surely. Well, that's a very good point. Perhaps not, my lord. I beg your pardon. There's significant police presence in the area that evening on account of incidents on Briar Road. Local residents were being interviewed throughout the night as part of the ongoing inquiry. A circumspect criminal would clearly have chosen not to carry out any wrongdoing at that time. Lord Van Zykes? And of course the following morning there was more activity at Mr. Shamspear's address. More activity? Yeah. You mean his fellow lodger, Mr. Natsume, being arrested on suspicion of murder? That's right. And as the defense already proposed, Mr. Shamspear was meddling with the gas in the pipe for very sinister reason himself, to cause the gas stove in Mr. Natsume's room to go out, thereby asphyxiating the occupant. Once Mr. Natsume has been arrested, his room was under constant surveillance by the police. In circumstances, Mr. Shamspear had no reason to blow air into the gas pipe. His intended victim being in the prison cell. With the need to tamper with the gas removed, the poison on the pipe lay dormant. And then, 3 days ago now, the situation changed again. Right, Mr. Natsume's trial, which took place here at the Old Bailey, came to an end. The trial and the man stood accused of stabbing Miss Green in the back was duly acquitted. And that resulted in Mr. Natsume returning to his lodgings for the first time in 2 days. And that very night, his gas stove mysteriously went out, and Mr. Shamspear was mysteriously poisoned. In conclusion, the poison that was present on the mouth of the gas pipe we put in the victim's room some 4 days earlier. Mary! With that new understanding... Oh, Mass Bendy. What's up? You might want to watch the anime all of a sudden. It becomes clear that this letter was all part of the plan. Whoa, what plan? The court will recall that the note gave instructions to visit the Slug and Salad at 5 o'clock. And the recipient should tell no one else. The reason for the instructions is now clear. To ensure the lodger would not be at home at the stated time. To make sure I was at home? Exactly. While you were out, Miss Green would safely slip into your room, knowing that she wouldn't be disturbed. You mean to say that the letter was written by Miss Green, yes, and in order to cover her tracks, she took it away with her when she left. Just after she smeared poison on the mouth of the gas pipe in your room. Order, order. What do you have to say for yourself, witness? That's a pretty airtight case, but it's also kind of circumstantial. Just who are you? Why do you try to kill me? Miss Green's motive should be obvious. It's all tied up with someone whose name we've heard several times already during the course of this trial, Duncan Ross. So that's what's behind all this? You will share your apparent understanding with the court, please, counsel. Which person behind this movement's motive was for the attack on the victim's life?
Take that!
Yeah, Duncan Ross. That's right. Before the defendant, Mr. Natsume took up residence in the lodgings at Mr. Garrodep's. Somebody else was renting the room. Mr. Duncan Ross. I knew it. I'd heard the name somewhere else. It was all over the papers a month ago, when the man died in strange circumstances. It does ring a vague... yes, of course. I remember now. The young man, he claimed strangled by the convict's curse or some such. Mr. Blue Shirt Guy says, my wife's been watching a lot of Studio Ghibli stuff. She was watching Howl's Moving Castle yesterday and distracted me from what I was doing. Yeah. Definitely, I enjoyed the art direction of the Ghibli stuff. Like, I mean, the classic, there's Totoro. I wanted to watch Ponyo, but I never got to watch Ponyo. What other? Yeah. There's also the creepy show. The other, I don't remember what it was. Spirited Away? That one was actually pretty scary. I don't know. I don't think I could have watched that one when I was younger. It was just too much. Alright. Let's see. Sadly, my lord, it wasn't a curse of any kind. Or was it an accident? The man died as a result of Mr. Shamspeare blowing into the gas pipe and causing gas to leak into the room. It was murder, plain and simple. Ugh. Oh, she's gonna be mad at him. It's gonna show. Well, what do you know? The world is so unfair. Curses, curious deaths. That's all people care about. It's an interesting story they want to know. It doesn't cross their mind that real people are involved. Once you're bored, just 1 month earlier. The story lost its appeal and everyone's forgotten him. You mean Duncan was... Mr. Ross was Miss Green's fiancé. Fiancé? You may not have known until now who Miss Green really is, Mr. Shamspeare. But she's known exactly who you are all along. Because you're her sworn enemy, the murderer who took the life of the man she was to marry. Barry! Miss Green, is it not the case that in order to exact revenge on Mr. Shamspeare, you smeared poison over the end of the gas pipe? Is she gonna admit it, finally? This is all quite extraordinary. Am I correct in understanding that you now accuse both parties, counsel? Each on different counts of murder? Yes, my lord. That's correct.
Objection!
Inhaling so deeply, it appears that my fledgling learned friend... Inhaling so deeply, it appears that my fledgling learned friend has taken in a lungful of dubious gas that caused his judgment to be clouded. I just realized I turned off RDX voice. What? Why should Mr. Shamspeare want to kill these lodgers as you say? You've completely failed to provide a motive to substantiate your accusation against the man. Master says, I'm a huge fan of isekai, so I kind of sleep on the slice of life and other stuff. I see. Yeah, that's kind of the pop genre of the anime right now. So, all right. Yeah, that's right, Mr. Reaper, my liege. I have been slighted. It's lies, all lies. I deny every utterance. You'll have to forgive me, Mr. Naruhodo, sir. But I don't intend to admit to anything either. Miss Green, I'm sure you'll think I'm being very rude, but I'm not going to be sent to the gallows for the likes of this scoundrel.
Objection!
Objection! You broke into the man's room. If you didn't do it to smear poison in the pipe, what was your reason? Oh. I thought I'd have a look around, that's all. Sorry? You're right, I suspected him. I thought perhaps I might find some evidence or something in this room. Evidence that it was him who took Duncan's life. Oh vileness, oh villainy, oh tyranny, oh rotundity of a woman. Yep, objection indeed. Mass says, Skeleton Knight from Another World just came out with the English dub, so I have another week to enjoy. Skeleton Knight, I don't think I've watched that one. If you want to recommend an anime and you aren't already in the Discord, feel free to join the Discord or send me a Discord DM. I'd love to talk about it. My Discord's the first one. Grace Found is the one I hang around sometimes for. I hang around that one for Thursday Bible study. Regenerated, we hang around there for games. During Folk, we hang that around in the afternoon and mornings to just chat and catch up. It's good times. And maybe on Monday we'll hang at J Freaks. J Freaks says they're doing a Monday Bible study. Might be able to. So see. The whole place is falling apart. The locks and the doors are no different. Duncan showed me once how to unlock the door with some terps and piece of wire. Oh awfulness, oh artfulness, oh tyranny, oh profanity of a woman. I didn't know you had a server join. Okay, let me vet you real quick by doing that. Right. Alright, you're in. I think you're here in the vetting section, and then I send you to the Young Yoshis. There you go. You're in. Welcome to the server. Alright, let's continue. Oh dear. We will consider you trespassing on some future occasion, but for now, tell the court what you found. What evidence your search revealed? Well, I spotted the note and I sent him lying on the floor. I didn't want to pick it up and there's something. One of the floorboards was loose, and underneath it I discovered a secret hiding place. Hey! You've also discovered the secret hiding place. Inside we found a newspaper cutting and a photograph and an empty tin box. Yes, the thing is, when I found it, the box wasn't empty. Oh, was it empty? There was something in it? Yes. This rather nice key. Ah! What are you doing with that? What? Every ounce of color is drained from this face. Give it here. Give it to me now. It's mine. I inherited it. But was that what this? What did you say? You inherited it? No, What's all this about? He inherited that key? It's obviously important to you since you've gone to such great lengths to hide it, so I took it. I don't know what it's for, but you took something precious from me, so I took something precious from you. So, what if it means you can't open something now? I don't care. Give it back this minute, give it to me! Calm yourself, witness. So Mr. Shamsir has tried and in one case succeeded to take the life of 2 lawyers now. His motive for doing so is the key to everything that's happened. I think this guy has been squatting into the house in order to find the treasure of Selden, which is the infamous thief who had a bounty. So we'll see. Considering everything we know now, I think there's actually something that could explain it. What? I need to recall every piece of evidence at our disposal, everything we've seen and heard. Because I'm sure that I caught a glimpse of the link that runs through all of these events. In that case, Counsel, I must demand that you present evidence to the court in support of your claim. What does you say you can explain the motivation for Mr. Shamspeare's alleged crimes? Because, this thing? Nope. This thing. It's 1,000 pounds worth of loot that he stole remain uncovered.
Take that!
That's an official police report, is it not? The Selden file? How did you get a hold of that? Selden? Now, sadly to seize Mr. Ross and the defendant Mr. Natsume have only one thing linking them, the fact that they had lodgings in the same room. Well, yes, we know this certainly. A room that was formerly occupied by Selden, until, that is, he was arrested by Scotland Yard for his involvement in multiple burglaries. I see. I see. So it happens that the convict Selden left behind one very substantial mystery when he died. The sum 1,000 pounds worth of loot that he stole, which as yet remains to be found. Ah, yes, of course, it's coming back to me now. It's written in this case file here. 1,000 pounds lost en route to hell. That's how the paper summed it up. And it seems that one particular fellow inmate was with the convict in his final moments. It's not hard to imagine Selden entrusting that inmate with his most closely guarded secret. The location of the stolen loot, and perhaps a key unlocked whatever container the valuables were in. You mean this key is... Mr. Shamsir, it was you, wasn't it? You were the capital offender's side when he died, were you not? What are you talking about? It's a false charge, I tell you, a false charge. The name of the inmate who was with Selden on his death isn't noted in his file, but a simple telegram to the prison where he died would quickly tell us how falsely the charge really is. Whoa, it's epitome. And he hasn't been vetted. Alright, let's vet him too. What? Even if it's true, why would a man be so intent on killing every subsequent occupant of the convict's lodgings? There's only one explanation for that, my lord. It was in that very room that Selden hid his loot. Boom. So it all comes out. Yes, and that established that all that Mr. Shamspeare's subsequent actions start to make perfect sense. When he was let out of prison following Selden's death, he made immediately for Mr. Girdub's lodgings, hoping to rent Selden's old room. However, the retired army man was unable to offer him the accommodation of his choice, because Selden's old room's already been let to someone else, Mr. Duncan Ross. Which is why Mr. Shamspeare subsequently devised this gas-based plot to kill the occupant of the room. When he was successful, he presumably intended to inquire about switching the newly vacant room. However, A certain jittery someone had beaten him to it. Mr. Soseki Natsume, the defendants to his case, no less. So you decided to use a ploy with gas again, didn't you, Mr. Shamspeare? This time to ask Mr. Natsume. All for one simple and avaricious reason. I've never used that word. Avaricious? Avaricious. Avaricious. Having or showing extreme greed or wealth of or material gain. According to Oxford Languages. Pull that up on the screen. Zoom. Alright, let's keep going. To get your hands on 1,000 pounds of loot left behind by the dead convict. Ooh, we busted it. We've exposed. Looks like I'm going to snuff it before they get to stretch me neck. Listen, I want you to have me loot. Anything to stop the coppers getting their mitts on it. It's hidden in the room where I was lodging when they got me here. This is the key to it. Take it. Always stay one step ahead, mate. See you in L. I guess. Shamspeare. Wow. Sheesh. Smile. Huh? What did he just say? It's mine. That loot is mine. Whoa, that's creepy. Mr. Shamspeare? It's all lies. I don't accept any of it. Why should I? After all, I don't have a shred. You don't have a shred of evidence. You can't prove that I killed that fellow. Forsooth, I'm the victim here, remember? Isn't that right, ladies and gentlemen? If I don't admit it, there's nothing you can do. Ha ha ha. You can't arrest me, for the time being anyway. Barely, you can't arrest the victim, can you? Is that right, ladies and gentlemen? I'm so close. I just need a few more hours. I swore to myself that I get my hands on it, and I can almost taste it now. Do you really think I just give up? There's no question in my mind now. This man's guilty through and through. He seems so utterly intoxicated by the idea of that loot. I'm afraid that, however hard you press him, he'll never admit what he's done. There's a way. Pardon? There's only one way I could finish him. No. He's already committed the most heinous crimes to get his hand on that loot, which means all we need to do is find it first. A fine plan. Were not for the fact that the police thoroughly searched the room following the death of Mr. Ross. If it's there at all, it must be very well hidden indeed. Without conclusive evidence, I certainly cannot rule. If only there was a way we could find the convict's loot quickly. We actually have the skin print machine, so we can find it easily. I think we can have it in our possession already, or rather, I think we may well have something that can help us find that loot hidden. My lord. Yes, counsel? The defense would like to make a proposal. How about we find the late convict's hidden loot? I believe we are already in possession of something that could give us a clue to its whereabouts. It's our last chance, so it has to be worth a gamble. Besides, they're taking friends away from Twitch? Yep, they are. It's... At least I think direct messages might stay, but then the friend notifications of statuses like you're watching somebody or AFK idle or whatever, that's gonna be going away. Maybe someone could make a extension that could add it back. We'll see. I don't know. Maybe we could add like a new DM system. Integrate Discord into the Twitch. I don't know. Things to think about. Besides, we've used the same technique once already and definitely paid off then. Very well, Council. We'll let the courts hear your idea. What do you propose we can use in order to locate the hiding place of the deceased convict's hall? Well, we could use that thing, right?
Take that!
If I'm not mistaken, those are Mr. Shakespeare's handprints on the wall of his lodgings? That's right, my lord. Exposed as a result of the defense's independent investigation of the scene. Based on the wonderful new discovery in the field of forensic science with the great detective Mr. Sholmes. A great detective? Is that some kind of joke? Do you really think I'm going to be daunted by a man with such a ridiculous title? I should think the great bard ought to recognize... Oh, I think this is Sholmes talking. I should think the great bard ought to recognize a title when he hears one, Mr. Shakespeare. Perhaps we should compete for the honor and most ridiculous title. 'Tis Sherlock Holmes himself! Sherlock Holmes himself! Sorry. What are you doing here, great detective? Your usual haunts are the filthy back streets of the capital, are they not? Mr. Creeper, it's been too long. I see your complexion has worsened since we last met. Mr. Sholmes. He does know Lord Van Sykes then, well enough to say something like that in case. Mr. Sholmes, though you may be heralded as a great detective by the population at large, that does not give you the right to come and go in my courtroom as you see fit. If I may, my lord, Mr. Sholmes' newly developed scientific method has helped us discover vital clues in this case already. Clues, you say? Call them skin prints, my lord. My method identifies every location touched by an individual under scrutiny. It's the method in which we were able to ascertain this gentleman's gas pipe activities. You only need a small sample of something the individual has previously touched to make the indicator solution. In your case, sir, I used the teacup you've been holding. Elementary. So now, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes. What am I to use for as a sample to make the indicator solution this time? Thank you for offering to help, Mr. Sholmes. When the convict was arrested, he was living in what was now Saseki-san's room. We need a sample to help locate Selden's loot that hidden in his old room. What form will it take? What? Alright, let's read it. Crazy Christ says, reason. View, follow bots use it to join macro each other into streams as large groups. Removing friends are watching will force bots to automate their own system to join streams in large numbers instead of using an integrated feature. So I guess once a bot goes into a channel, then it shows who they're watching, and the bots can use an API to essentially reveal all follow along, enjoying the same. So, interesting. Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. Sample to help locate his loot. What form will the sample take? What did Selden do? Natural causes 1,000 pounds loot, he remains uncovered. Suffering from a fever, Loaded shouts his inmate. Find him already dead before his capital punishment would be carried out. I don't really know. Soap. Sham spear. Handprint on the wall. Photograph. Maybe it's on this? I don't know. I'm gonna guess evidence. Twitch also took host alerts away, right? I think host alerts still happen, but they have to be higher than 1 or 2, I think. I think it has to be like 2 people at least. I think sometimes the host works, but it's not as obvious. And also, when you're hosting from offline, if you haven't been streaming for a while and you just are hosting people directly by pressing host this person, it doesn't alert as well. Oh right, castaways, right? Yeah, I missed that too. Yeah, I don't know what are ways to fix that. Alright. Indeed, and you have the piece of evidence in question? Yes, I believe so. On my word, Mr. Naruto, your powers of reasoning appear to be on the up. So, which particular item is on one in question? What piece of evidence do you propose we could use to help find Selden's loot? I'm assuming this one, maybe?
Take that!
Look at this. Nope. That was the wrong answer. I saw Cora set up when someone hosts her, it shows up in her chat as a bot command thanking her. Yeah, I don't know. Thanking them. Yeah, I'm not sure. Okay, what? Why? Why would you think that? Dear fellow, once again, there's no mystery. Did you really believe that the minute deflection of your left eye would escape my attention? But I asked you to look at the evidence, not my eye. I think we need to reconsider this from the start, Mr. Naruto. Why do I feel as though Miss Susato-san is studying my left eye now? I'm ready and waiting, Mr. Naruto. The rest is in your hands. Okay, we need a sample to help locate Selden's loot. What form will the sample take? I mean, then he would know, right? So I guess we'll just sample. We need something of Selden's in indicator solution to find his loot. Something the convict owned happens to be in possession of someone else. Something the convict owned happens to be in the possession of somebody listed in the court record. Oh, it's the key, I think. Upon my word, Mr. Naruhodo, your powers of reasoning appears beyond that blah blah doobity boo. Okay, I think then we'll get the key. Right?
Take that!
My logic just finally solved it. Miss Green. Me? What do you want from me? The key around your neck, if you please. Sorry? That key belonged to Selden, and there will be remnants of secretions from the man's skin, so DNA, on its surface that we can use. Very true. Alright, that is the sample we need. Using it, we can create the indicator solution required for Mr. Sholmes' skin print seeker. And find out exactly what Selden touched in the room that he used to rent. Sounds good to me. If I do say so myself. Mr. Shamspear, as one of the great one to another, I assure you, if the late convict's haul is hidden somewhere in his former lodgings, I shall uncover it in no more than 30 minutes. So, Mr. Shamspear, the truth is well within our grasp now, and such, you'll never get your hands on the Selden's stolen wealth. Ooh, let's go. He's in the catch-22. In that case, I'll gladly let Mr. Sholmes have this key. No, give me the key! The detective can't have it. It's over, Mr. Shamspear. No. You're out of options. There's only one thing left for you to do. Admit your guilt. Oh, whoa. Oh, shameful spear, despair. Be thy name. He got shot. Shot by confetti. I never intended to kill the man. I just wanted to drive him out of the room. That's all. So you'd have time to find the convict's haul of stolen goods? Yet after you killed the young man, you still didn't move into the room. He asked the landlord, of course, but I pleaded with him, but he refused. Why? I was 3 months behind in the rent, for one thing. Mr. Gerda really had a lot to put up with. And he had the gas repair work done immediately afterwards, putting the room out of action for a while. And then this Japanese man swooped in at just the right moment to sign the new lease. Launch the peach. Yeah. Poor Natsumi, what an unfortunate timing. Then 5 days ago, after the incident on Briar Road, the Japanese fellow got himself arrested. I thought I'd finally have my chance. But it wasn't to be. No, the scene was sealed off and guarded by the police night and day. And if I remember rightly, Mr. Sholmes spent the whole day in there reading books. I couldn't even enter the room, let alone search for the loot. Which is why on the day Mr. Natsume was acquitted and returned to his room, he once again tried a trick of blowing air into the gas pipe that feeds the stove in his room. Unbeknownst to you, however, that action would lead you to a deadly trap. The characters are really dramatic, especially the people who are villains. Usually, they have like weird stuff to like just be like comedic relief and stuff. So I love it. Love it lots. William Shamspear. How does it go? To be or not to be? That is the question. From Shakespeare's Hamlet, Act 3, Scene 1. Well, let me tell you, in your case, it's not to be. That's the answer. You deserve to die for what you've done. All right, we did it. We finally caught him. Yes. And Miss Green, she took matters into her own hands instead of trusting in God's final judgment. So, or the court. At first, I really did think it was just a terrible accident. I never forget our conversation that night before Duncan died. The gas supply in my new lodgings are a complete disaster, you know, Olive. The gas supply? Yeah, the stove always seems to go out in the middle of the night for some reason. That's no joke. They say it's a convict's curse. Oh, Duncan, please don't say that. Don't stay there. I don't care how cheap it is. Alright then, if that's important to you, I'll start looking for a new place. There's spare rooms at my house. Why don't you leave that horrible room tonight? No, I'd better not. We said we'd wait until we graduated before we told our parents. Remember? What was the last time we were ever spoke? That very night, he fell... but that was the last time we ever spoke. That very night, he fell victim to the gas. That's really sad. Oof. If only I'd known that it was going to happen, I would have insisted he left that horrible room at an instant. Instead, all that I've been left with is bitter regret. I stopped going to school, but something kept drawing me back to the house on Briar Road. I saw a stooped eastern-looking man with a mustache coming out of the house one day when I was there, and he walked up to the road to grab scrubbery for some food, so I followed him. I saw myself next to him. He had some watery-looking soup and started to pick a quarrel with the publican. That place is cursed, I tell you. Cursed! That ghost, that convict used to live there is trying to suffocate me. I wake up in the middle of the night, freezing to death because the stove has gone out. The room is full of gas, and I can't hardly breathe. The pipes have been checked, no problem there. It's like I'm the problem. That's what they're thinking. But how could that be? Duncan was gone, and now this man had almost suffered the same fate? Could it really be a curse? Then I remembered a rumor I heard about how the gas companies go around investigating gas installations. Rumor, you mean? Yes. Everybody's heard the stories, it seems, about how they go around checking the pipes. How everything connected to the gas can be extinguished by blowing air into the pipework. That was when I started. A little flicker of doubt in the back of my mind that just wouldn't go away. Was it really an accident, though? Once I had the idea, it wouldn't leave me alone. It plagued me day and night. So I bought this at one black market's in the East End. A black market? Black market? Never been. I just heard people talking about them, and you can buy anything you want. Think of there. In some ways, being able to get my hands on those so easily made me even more determined. I had to find out one way or another. Was Duncan's death an accident, or was it murder? And yet, your chosen method for establishing the truth is simple but highly effective. Smear poison on the gas pipe you suspected the man to tamper with and wait. But if Mr. Shamspeare was innocent, would nothing come of what you've done? But if he was guilty, you'd pay for his crimes dearly. That's true. I found out the name of the man I suspected, William Shakespeare, and then I wrote him this little note. I have information regarding the death of Duncan Ross. Come to the Slug and Salad on Briar Road at 5 p.m. on 17th. Don't tell anybody else about this letter or at the meeting. It's a matter of utmost importance. If he had done it, I knew that would worry him enough, so he'd be sure to go. So I waited to see if it worked. And of course, Mr. Shamsphere followed the instructions. Oh, and of course, Mr. Shamsphere followed the instructions to the letter. Plus. I worked out there was a gas pipe where the gas pipe was straight away, so I smeared a good amount of the poison I brought all around the mouth of the pipe. All the time praying that the devil's work wouldn't be done, that it was all just some wild fantasy. Actually, no. All the time praying that the devil's work would be done. And the culprit would get his just desserts. Well, she admitted to murder as well. That's sad. That's so sad. Murder triangle. 3 days ago, when you first stood in the dock before me, this whole affair seemed relatively straightforward. Yes, my lord. I certainly never imagined the depths of depravity that would subsequently find lurking behind the scenes. It has been a long road, my Nipponese friend. Yes. 5:30 Media. Good to see you. How's my day? My day's been good. I had lunch before I started streaming, so we are on good terms of energy, and hopefully we'll last through the rest of the day after. So, but we're finishing this another chapter. So we finished already one chapter this earlier afternoon, and now we're finishing a second, and it was pretty good. And we also finished some Bible reading. Our Bible reading plan right now, I think day 242, where we 24-hour stream. I usually hang around with my friends after stream, so we'll see. I am thinking of doing a 24-hour stream, but I need to find out what's a good day to do it on, and I need to find out like what exactly would I do on then. Like I could work on a game maker thing, or I could do art, or I could work on music, but it's hard to know what's a good thing to do for 24 hours. Like we could do multiple things, of course, and maybe some community games. Maybe we could join in on a friend who's playing something like Search of Zeal. Maybe, I don't know. It depends what he's playing, of course. He might be playing WoW by that time. And I don't want to play WoW, so maybe we'll do a 24-hour stream where we play MapleStory until we hit like level 200. I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna plan for it for sure. We might do. We'll definitely do ramen. We'll definitely cook that. We'll see. Okay, Von Zykes. One I certainly didn't envisage walking with you. Nevertheless, together we have reached the lights at the end of the tunnel, as you were. Miss Green. Yes, my lord? You will henceforth be stripped of your freedom as punishment for the attempted murder of Mr. William Shamsphere. Yes, I know. And you, Mr. Shamsphere, you will be tied to the murder of Mr. Duncan Ross in cold blood. Mentions cage stage depravity. You know nothing about depravity. Yeah, this game does show that we are capable of doing very great depths of depravity, and even though we think of ourselves as innocent. We do crimes and break the law, practice lawlessness. That's what sin is. Daily, whether we're Christians or not, and we have to wrestle with that. And as Christians, we actually have the power over sin through Christ, and as a non-believer, we do have the what we call there's a verse for it. Hold on. There's a verse called I believe, for godly grief produces a repentance that leads to salvation without regret, whereas worldly grief produces death. So in the attempt to do good in the world, God gives grace to even non-believers who don't trust in Jesus to try to do good. And sometimes that means a behavioral change, but in the end, trying to do good without Christ still produces death, because we don't do it for the right reasons. We don't do it to serve God. We do it only for selfish reasons. And that's not what God calls us to do. God calls us to serve Him. So, anyway, back to the game. Wait, hold on. Anyway, glad you're okay. That stuff mentioned sounds like a plan. Hope you can settle on something. Figuring out my schedule. Alright. But I will definitely make it a Saturday, just because Saturdays are the easiest way to get a full day's worth of streaming. Though I don't know if everyone in my house would necessarily desire that, because Saturday people hang out and play video games, use the internet, watch videos. So we might not have a stable internet enough for that. Let's see. Alright, and the subsequent attempted murder of Mr. Soseki Natsume here present. This guy, Shamspear. Shame on you. Off to jail. Off to the gallows. Mr. Naruhodo. Yes? Yesterday at the hospital, when you and your friends stopped me from ending your life by drinking what was left of the poison bottle? It wasn't myself. I can't even really remember what was going through my mind. To be or not to be, I suppose that was a question that's so hard to answer, it seems. Well, personally, I'm glad you're being here, Miss Green. I'd like to believe that it was a blessing Mr. Shamspear didn't die when he ingested the poison, because he actually got the thing that, God laid out, that the civil government will take care of these cases. For your sake, at the very least. Alright, hold on. More people are chatting. A non-believer can choose not to sin in some cases, but ultimately they will only choose between two sins. Well, yeah, the biggest sin, of course, is that they will choose against God. That's the sin of unbelief. And that's the main sin. That is unforgivable. Yep. Anyway. And 5:30, of course. Free will is... It's a complicated word with many meanings. It's a very front-loaded word. So... It's interesting. Choosing life, not death. If you choose life, that's salvation in Christ. You can't really choose life without that. But choosing is different from free will. That's what I would say to that. Now you've made the truth come out at last. Really, I can't thank you enough. Oh, Miss Green. Mr. Soseki Natsume. Let's give a hip hip hurrah. Cheer for him. Yes, my lord. The court declares that you are exonerated from all blame in this matter. Accordingly, I would call upon the ladies and gentlemen of the jury to present a verdict of not guilty. We have full agreement, my lord. In that case, I hereby declare the defendant not guilty. Woo! We did it! Yeah! We did it! We did it! We did it! Yeah! We did it! Yeah! Woo! We did it. Court is adjourned. To be continued. I don't think to be continued happens until we do the postscript, so to speak, and talk about the trial. So we'll do that. The 23rd February, 3:24 p.m. at the Old Bailey's defendant's antechamber. Oh, yes, yes, at last. Divine justice, newly done. Yeah. Divine justice? My dear fellow, if there's any divine justice in this world, you should shave that mustache. No, this has nothing to do with my mustache. Some say that a luxuriant mustache is a sign of physical prowess, Mr. Sholmes. Welcome, student Mr. Naruto Esquire, once again. You saved me from doom. I'm very happy you've been able to help me, Oh, sorry, that's me. I'm very happy to be able to help, Mr. Nitsume. Congratulations on your acquittal. You're second in almost as many days. I was first acquainted with and gained affection of late English literature whilst in our great homeland empire, and then by a twist of fate I was brought to the land that bore the fruit of that literature. But only the city of bricks and mortar became my prison. Try as might, I never found my feet here. In the end, I confined myself to my room and lived life through friendly old books. You've such a difficult time, haven't you? But a week ago, I dragged you out of that dark, dingy room of yours, did I not? You did. I've seen more of life in this week than all my years of date. For the first time, I feel I've begun to see the true face of English that's so far from hiding from me behind the wall of fog. My dear fellow, there's nothing special about the true face of the English as you put it. Wheresoever one goes in the world, humans are humans. There are few genuine differences. Yes, I think you're right. I finally started to see that, and I've come to understand something. I've worked out why I was so attracted to English literature in the first place. It made me see that whatever our nationality, we humans all have the same hopes and fears. We're all just doing our best to live. Well said. I've come to feel the same way. GG. I made a decision too. I'm going to cut short my study tour here. Return to England. What? Just when we became friends in England. What a terrible shame. Oh, I know, it does tug my heartstrings, it really does, but I decided I'd like to take everything I learned here in Britain and write something of my own. A novel of sorts, I suppose. Oh my, you'd be great at writing your own literature, Mr. Natsume, how wonderful. No, I mean, I wouldn't presume to call it literature. Why not? When that is precisely the definition, Mr. Mustache. I suppose you're right, yes, in a way. It will be literature, but as of now, all I know is I'd like to try my hand at writing. No delusions of grandeur. I, for one, would love to read your work. Well, all things considered, it may be for the best. After all, you have once again emerged victorious. from battle with the Reaper. That's very true. And there's no salvation for a person in the dock when the Reaper is the prosecutor. The desire to return post-haste to the perceived safety of your homeland is one I quite understand. Oh my goodness, yes. Faced with such a terrifying prospect. Nobody would consider that cowardly, I'm sure. But that's not what I'm leaving, I mean it. Objection! Wait, is Soseki saying objection? And that was the case we found ourselves embroiled in 6 months ago. Soseki-san did indeed return to Japan and submitted a report about both cases to the government. It was on reading that report that Professor Mikotoba was promptly to visit this scholar. And barely any time later, Susato-san was given the news that she must return to Japan as well. Looks like we might return to Japan and do a final case. That's what I'm thinking. On the back of the telegram, stating falsely that her father had fallen grave and ill. The only possible explanation that comes to mind is what happened after the trial on the following day, the day that we uncovered the loot, hidden by the now deceased convict in his former lodgings. Ooh, that's a big plot point. Let's see what's up there. Oh, 530 Media, thank you for the lurk. Appreciate it. Alright, before you leave, I'm gonna pray for you. And just in case you don't come back. Heavenly Father, thank you for having 530 Media hang today. I pray that you continue to work in them so they could serve you well, and in their streams that they'll continue to honor you and remember to take care of themselves. And I pray that they continue to honor, glorify your name, and continue to enjoy Twitch, to remember that sharing the gospel is quite important, and that he'll be able to have a lot of fun with us as we continue to fellowship through the following days to come. I pray this all in Jesus' name. Amen. All right, we're at Mr. Natsume's room, where the loot was hidden. Oh, well done, Mr. Sholmes. Simply marvelous of you. To uncover the secret hiding places in just one day. Wasn't it supposed to take 30 minutes? Doesn't believe I told you, but dear fellows, skin prints are extremely useful in such situations. Would you agree, Gregson? Yeah, come. Rexy has been happily munching in agreement this whole time, you know, Hurley. Happily? I think humorlessly might be closer to the truth. So didn't spies the man fashioned a hiding place in this ceiling. And what's in it? What exactly is the loot? Let's look then, if you're ready. Let's examine the late burglar's hall. What is that? It's a bloody collar? A bloody collar. A collar? That's huge, though. Look at all the gemstones in it. I can see why it claimed to be worth 1,000 pounds. Perhaps I could have it as well. Oh, you notice what's inside there? There are some dark stains. It looks like blood, right? You don't think they could be blood, do you? I mean, there's quite a lot of it. On second thoughts, perhaps I won't have it as a belt. Then of course there's a blood emblem there. It says B. What does it stand for? Crown? British crown? From a dog at the British castle? What does this signify, do you think? I didn't notice that. I feel as though I've seen that emblem somewhere before, you know. Where could it have been? That's enough of that, I think. What's the matter with Mr. Sholmes? All the color has drained from his face. Well, Inspector, I believe you ought to be taking this, oughtn't you? It could be valuable evidence after all. It must be kept safely under lock and key. Yes. Get your grubby hands off that, you lot. Hand it over now. Alright, I guess we don't get to... Yeah. Never seen a collar that large before. All these jewels certainly look extremely valuable, but not what stood out most to me, at least not once I noticed it. There's dark marks on the inside of the collar. There's stains. Could they really have been blood? To be continued. Well, that's a funny case, wasn't it? It's all buttoned up now. You look very pleased, Iris. I am. Because I started to wonder if I could use it as a basis of this month's story in the magazine. This case will be perfect. It's been so fascinating. You're talking about the latest installment of the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, I presume. The mystery of the knife in the mist, the mustache man, and the convict's curse, perhaps. I can make it a two-part story. Oh, I can't wait. Word, please, Iris. What is it, Hurley? I'm sorry, but you can't write about this case. It's out of the question. What? Why not? That's a great case. Then I shall have to insist you limit yourself to the first of 2 titles. The second must never be written. Is that clear? Very mysterious. Yes. Something he's hiding.
So it was that the second of Soseki-san's cases became buried in obscurity. Now, looking back, I feel I understand. I can see why Mr. Sholmes forbade Iris from publishing the story. It would take a little longer before I saw the link between everything that had happened and would happen. For it wasn't until 2 months after the arrival of Susato-san's letter that events began to unfurl again, with an incident that took place at the very heart of the eagerly awaited Great Exhibition of London.
Oh wow, they're actually gonna expand on what they're doing at the Great Exhibition? They've been foreshadowing this since the beginning. Sheesh, good job. Wow. Ooh, GG guys. GG.